What are we calling the show this year?
This is the Patriots Pregame Show, presented by Dunkin.
Patriots Chinwag, Patriots Before the Game Show.
Jones, he's throwing it towards Thornton, left corner of the end zone, caught! Touchdown, New England!
Hey, it's the Patriots.
The Patriots Pregame Show is your source for all the latest news and information before every game.
He took it to the house again! Here we go! The Patriots take the lead!
With Hardy.
Well, so-and-so got out of line, and my dad had to put her right.
Mike Dussault.
I'm trying to be real, too, though. I don't think that I'm being pessimistic. I just think that there's more to this game than winning
You're
it just to
punting on
stay
the
in
season when you talk about losing their two best defensive players.
Well, that's true.
Paul Perillo.
I thought by far and away you had the best key. So I am
Thank you.
now we're going to conduct the rest of the season under protest. And
Okay, good.
I'm no longer going to put an effort into these.
And Tamara Brown.
I think that we're going to have to ban that.
Nice to see you. Wow. Only an hour and 5 minutes late to the pregame.
Patriots Nation, welcome to the Patriots Pregame Show, presented by Dunkin.
I can't wait. We are going to have so much fun today. We're going to be whistling zippity-doo-dah out our you-know-whats.
Wow,
Vacation.
Didn't
Gotcha.
take long for us
We're
to
6
get
hours
a little blue.
from the effing fun park.
Whoa,
Sorry, sir.
Whoa.
The moose out front should have told you.
park's closed.
Welcome in to the Patriots Pregame Show, fueled by Dunkin. It's Hardy, it's Mike Dussault, it's Tamara, it's Paul Perillo. Can I tell you what happened as I was readying myself for the program today?
Sure.
And I was picking out my chapeau, and I chose one that has a Las Vegas golf course on the side. And I said, I'm gonna wear this because it has Las Vegas.
Cool story.
My wife says to
console.
me, why do you care what you wear on the radio?
Oh, come on, Marcy. You know
How long
this.
have been?
We're on
how
the
long,
air. Look at us.
How long
we
we been
look
doing
great.
this?
Oh, at least 5 years.
5 years. I said it's a webcast. It's all over the world. It's the World Wide Web. People looking at us and listening to us. It does matter what I wear.
In the
and
words
you know
of Hardy-
something, Tamara? I'm going to crap all over your key because you started with a crap attitude just because you only got 15 hours sleep yesterday. Doesn't give you license to crack wise.
Oh, I'm well rested and I have plenty of sass to go around.
Well,
Plenty.
let's get into it as the Patriots visit the Las Vegas Raiders today in the third must-win game of this short season. and spoiler alert, they actually did win one. They won one of their 3 must-win games.
Yep.
They did beat the Jets.
They did.
They did not beat the Saints last week. I don't know if you remember.
I do.
They had a problem scoring last week.
And the week
What was
before,
the final
too.
of that contest?
It was
30s to something.
a lot to none. No
Nada.
points.
0.
They did not score.
Zip.
I was waiting to see if you
Zilch.
announced the score the way you
Do you
tend
have
to.
the last?
Patriots
Postgame.
0.
Do you have the last time that the Patriots did score
Yes.
a touchdown?
Yeah.
Yes.
Pharaoh Brown. He's still
Pharaoh
running.
Brown
still
against the
running.
Jets. It's fantastic.
Second quarter of the Jets game?
Yeah.
Pharaoh Brown. What a
Yeah.
player.
What a play.
Last
What
time
a
they
play.
scored it all was the
Yeah,
first
the-
quarter of the Dallas game.
Took you
Yikes.
two games to set it up, and then you go.
Yikes.
First.
But
oh,
hey,
that's
today,
right. Because the final of that one was 30. Oh, my God. Okay.
It's bad.
All right, so let's get into this. We're going to do the keys to the game. We're going to go behind enemy lines with Vinnie Bonsignore.
I don't know why you have to say it like that.
I don't know how to pronounce his last
I
name.
think you pronounced it properly. You just used like sort of a funny accent that I think is
Offensive.
insulting.
You got a pronunciation
To the
for me,
Italians.
Marine Matt?
Bonsignore.
Babbity-boopy.
Yeah,
Bonsignore.
yeah,
All right. In the Las Vegas Review-Journal.
yeah. He's a friend of the show.
Friend of the show.
I remember
we
him
spoke
well.
to
We
him,
spoke with him last year.
So I got a chance. I watched a good portion of that game. It was on NFL Network
I watched
yesterday
it. Yes,
afternoon.
me too. Yep.
Yeah, there was
last year's
just
Raiders
you're
Patriots
sitting there and
game.
you're like, all right, so it's 24-17. There's like 40 seconds left, and you're like, the announcers, Raiders need a touchdown to tie, and I'm like, little do they know they're going to get 2. Like, it almost defied logic.
I couldn't believe I forgot how the first half ended with the block punt
Yeah.
and then the touchdown to make it 17-3. And it's just, whenever you watch these games, it feels like, yeah, this is the same team we're watching. Like, this just feels like it's going on. And that's why all the things like yesterday, like guys getting promoted and stuff, like maybe there'll be a little different twist today. Maybe we'll see something different than what we've been
Well,
watching
that's
for the
certainly
last
the
2 years.
news of the weekend is who actually will play in this game today.
Yeah.
Was it really? I guess we'll get into it later. But I was gonna say, was it really surprising to see not only was Malik Cunningham elevated, but the reports of him being actually on the roster.
Well, like a 3-year deal. I needed to talk to Paul. I was like,
That's
Paul's got to explain this to me.
That's automatic.
You got to explain this.
It's basically. I mean, it doesn't have to be, but now you own him.
Yeah. Who owns Malik?
The Chiefs.
Owns
the Chiefs. No, so basically, it's a bookkeeping thing.
Yeah. Okay.
So now you don't have to worry about making him like an exclusive rights free agent. You automatically have
it's
him.
just it's just funny how it's framed though, because it
standard,
seems like not only are we doing it, we love this guy and he's going to be our starter.
No,
like some people took it that way.
That's the way it gets taken. But
Yeah.
when he signs as an undrafted free agent, you sign a 3-year deal.
I see.
Do you know?
Yeah. No, that's
what I'm
why
saying?
I was going to text you. I figured.
And then you
just
get
explain
cut
at the top of the show
and put on the practice squad. It's not a 3-year deal for the practice squad. It's a practice squad deal. It's different. So to go back on the roster, you're going to sign a 3-year deal. That's kind of standard
I knew you'd have
operating procedure.
But since Tamara took us down this road, which we are not scheduled to do, and now we're completely thrown
We're
off.
behind.
If he's on the roster, why does it matter that he's listed as quarterback and not quarterback wide receiver? Does it?
I don't think so. What will matter, and I don't have the answer to this question, is how Bill Belichick employs him today.
Yeah.
And Bill O'Brien. I don't know what he's going to play.
But
Mike
he's
and I were
listed as
talking-
quarterback.
On the roster, he's been listed as a quarterback, yes.
But before, preseason or whatever, it was quarterback, wide receiver, wide receiver,
quarterback.
always quarterback. All right.
Unless it's changed. It was.
I don't know. And
in the summer, it was quarterback.
And you got to be careful reading too much into the Patriots.com depth chart because that's not.
Because Mike and Paul do that.
Yeah.
You don't want to listen to us.
It's not coming from football and making those kind of things.
In all seriousness, it's just something that.
Do you guys have any
placeholders.
checking your work before you hit the publish icon button?
Who's asking?
I'm curious what the gatekeeping process is like around here.
Oh, in terms of
that's an old journalism.
editorial content?
Yeah.
If you write something that you think might be something that someone should take a second look at, you make sure someone takes a second look at.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You have a cold, Deuce?
Just a little bit. I'm okay. Don't worry. Don't worry about me.
You want to do the keys to the game?
Sure.
Yeah. Where's that key? You got that?
More on that in a moment.
Oh.
Why did you leave the keys up on the table? You wanted to. You've waited all week for it.
The whole team's in the locker room right now just listening to this, waiting to hear what you're going to say.
Without these keys, the Patriots are destined and doomed to fail.
Here are Hardy, Paul, Mike, and Tamara's keys to the game.
Why did I steal your key to the game also?
Keys to the game brought to you by Mike, Paul, Hardy, and Tamara. Without these keys, Patriots doomed and destined to fail. They're listening in the locker room right now in part of the Taj Mahal that does make up the football compound in both Henderson and Las Vegas, Nevada. So we will get to the keys. I'm the current key holder. I left the key in my truck. So I will go out and get it if the key does in fact change hands.
Not willing to say it's going to change hands.
I'm not willing to.
I like that.
We're going to begin with Tamara, who decided to crack wise and get fresh to start the program today.
I
Tamara?
feel like that's something a dad would say to his child.
Yes, that's exactly what it sounded like.
He's got a dad hat on.
Old and I got a dad hat on, number one, and I'm old enough to be your father easily. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
You can't ask a lady how old she is.
You're
Well, I think
19.
I think it was more a shot at himself.
Oh, it's a shot at me.
Fairness to Hardy.
All right, what's your key, Tamara?
My key is to stick to the script. I think when you're in a point where you've lost back-to-back games by 30 points, you're desperate to score, that people can try to play hero ball, especially Mac Jones as of late, where he's trying to make something out of nothing and it ends up just being a pick six or a strip sack or some sort of error. I'm hoping that today, whatever plan it was to start all over, I think I need everyone to be on the same page and not trying to create their own agenda. Like you saw Tua creating his own play, and it led to a touchdown. Mac Jones cannot do that. He needs to stick to whatever script that Bill O'Brien and Bill Belichick came up with this week. Malik Cunningham, same thing. Whoever is playing quarterback, I need them to stick to the script so that they can hopefully leave with a win. Obviously, we saw what happened last year in Las Vegas when things were very in other people's hands versus on the script.
My fear is that he has been sticking to the script and that he doesn't know his lines.
Okay, fair.
Okay,
that's fair.
I mean, seriously, the fake tush push. I mean, it's like that. He didn't call that. That was part of the plan. That was part of what he was supposed to do. And the fact is that they can't execute, a relatively simple fake trick play to pitch the ball out and try and convert. I mean, I don't know that he's been going off script. or anyone else has.
Well, I guess it's more so too just him throwing the ball away, like having the just mental capacity to know when to throw the ball away and when to take the sack versus trying to scramble and throw off one foot and just a lot of things that he just athletically can't do. I just need him to stick to the script of what he knows he's capable of doing, what the offense can do. Don't freak out. Don't try to force things. And that goes for everybody who plays quarterback today. I think everyone needs to go in there and just literally do what they tell you to do. Don't do anything more.
Okay. By the way, we're throwing out the scoring system.
Oh,
I love it.
Oh, okay.
Much like the Patriots are starting over, we're starting over.
0 to
Instead,
3?
we will all vote on who has the best key.
I love that.
Okay, and it's going to be a secret ballot.
this
So
means I now have to start paying attention to the keys.
Yeah. And also, Hardy, I'm also
it's a
saying that
anonymous
too,
ballot, too.
because of what happened in Vegas last year where,
That
people
was
try
de-
to take
that was
matters into
definitely-
What
their
happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
well, you know what? Since you brought that up, I'm going to do my key
Okay.
right now,
Do
which
it.
is if the win doesn't happen in Vegas, just stay in Vegas. Because there's no point in really doing much else. If you don't get the win today, you move to 1-5 on the season, and I'm just going to go ahead and circle L's for the next 2 weeks against the Dolphins and the Bills. And now you're 1-7, and if you thought maybe you had a chance at the season will then officially at that point be over.
Yeah.
So if the win doesn't happen in Vegas, just stay in Vegas. There's nothing left for you here. I don't know what else you want to do with the rest of your fall and winter, but, football games are going to become much less important, unfortunately. It's that dire, it's that serious, and I'm not exaggerating.
Yeah.
You lose today, anybody going to pick them to win either of the next 2 games they have on the schedule?
Probably not, but
Okay,
this Miami score gave me a little bit of hope.
Okay.
If they win today, is anyone picking them to win the next 2?
You know what? We'll get into that a little bit
Okay.
later because I was thinking something along those lines, and then I heard it echoed by respected and
this
really
sounds pretty good.
held in high esteem Patriots analyst Michael Felger.
Oh.
So I will. Your guy.
Felge.
Your guy.
Your
Your
channels.
show.
Your show.
My
Your
show,
show,
my
Paul.
shows.
Paul goes on a show. He goes on the biggest sports radio show in the country.
He
That's
does.
the show that
He's
he
not
goes
afraid to
on.
tangle with those
my-
guys.
it's my show.
He'll
Yeah,
step in.
it's his show. I mean, he's
That's what Fred says.
he's
My
the
shows.
man. All right, so that is my key.
Okay.
All right, Paul, what is your key?
I was very impressed with your key and Mike's key when we had our little group text chain. So I decided to punt
And amuse
because
Tamara?
I didn't feel like I had a chance to compete with either one of you, and I'm being dead serious.
I am not in this group chat, everybody listening right now.
Well, you're in a separate group chat with Morel. You have to text Morel, right? No? Do you not send your
I do, but
your
when
keys
it's,
to Morel?
when it's 2 people, that's not a group text.
Okay. That's a fair point by you. That's a fair
Guys,
point.
do you see how they treat me on here?
I
I'm not cool
I
enough to
actually
be in
look
the
at
group
it
chat.
as you're special, so you get your own
Yeah, we always get to surprise.
interaction.
We get
Hold on a
surprise.
second. I just want to see something here because
I quit when you guys both answered as I was driving
Hardy
to
doesn't
work.
even have my phone number.
I don't have your phone number. Can I have your phone number?
No. No.
Not anymore.
I want to be able to text Tamara and talk football
No.
and stuff.
No.
So, Matt,
All right.
I believe that Tamara is making a formal request to be included in our group chat. I think you can make that happen as the producer of
Effort
the
The group
that?
chat's been going on for a few
you
years
effort that
now,
one?
Tamara. That's why it's just harder for me to add to the group chat than
It's
to
not
text
that
them.
hard.
No.
And I've
ask-
been here. I've been here for 3 years, and I'm not in the group chat. This
Ask
is very,
a
very sad.
youngin. They'll show you how
Very
to
sad.
add someone Sonny to the group chat. It's not
Are you
that hard.
Megan wasn't in it either.
Are you familiar
what's
with
that?
with the movie Jaws?
Megan wasn't in it either.
You're not. You're going to be felt left out of a
Assignment.
lot. I would say 98% of the conversations on the group chat, unless you're very familiar with the movie Jaws.
Well, that's a different group chat.
Yeah.
This is the one with Morel when he
That's-
looks for the keys. And it's just the 3 of us on it, which I did not realize until today.
That's really all that group chat is for.
I was today years old when I realized Tamara wasn't on the keys group chat. But
right.
Anyway, I was very impressed with yours and Mike's. I'm building up
glowing.
some
I
tension
hope
for
it-
Mike's.
It's right there on the screen.
I'm just going to go really generic, and I'm going to play to Tamara's side. Run the dang ball.
Yeah.
Is it Bert?
Yeah.
Run the dang ball.
Bert?
I just love that movie. And
I know it's like Hugh Freeze in real life, but it's is Bert is the guy's name in the movie. I feel like you can talk about all these different things, protecting the passer, protecting the ball, and all these things. If they can't figure out a way to run the ball, none of these other things are going to happen. So to me, it's get the ball to Ramondre Stevenson, get him going. I think he had about 145 yards in the game there last year. It's not a good defense you're playing against today. Figure out a way to run the ball.
I like that you said that, Paul, because in Deuce's questions that he sent out this week for the PU Roundup, when he's like, what player on offense needs to step up? I think that was the question. I'm like,
Sounds
the
right.
entire run game. I'm like, if you could alleviate and take some pressure off of Mac Jones having to throw the ball all night long, that would be amazing.
Morel just added
But-
Tamara to the group chat.
Better late than never. I love it.
And I'm going to start texting her separately right now.
Anytime about anything.
Block. Block.
Yeah, you'll be
block,
blocked.
Block.
Delete.
I just
Create
they need
new
to find
contact. Tamara.
He's probably spelling my name wrong too.
How do you misspell Tamara?
Easy. It happens all the time.
Add photo.
Yeah, they put like an E in it. It's like Tamera.
Oh yeah, I could do. I could see that.
Smile.
I could see someone using an E in there. That's true.
But to see this Patriots team actually have a run game would be amazing. Like, especially because coming into this season, we had such high hopes for Ramondre that we're like, where is that Ramondre?
Yeah.
That
I think it's a great key because what else do they have?
Yeah.
No.
I mean,
Oh,
seriously.
suddenly I'm in the running.
What else?
I could be the first two-time winner.
What else are they going to do? And especially the first series from scrimmage last week when I'm sitting here talking about in the pregame, like, would you please, like on a second or third and short, run the ball, especially against New Orleans?
Yeah,
Because, I mean, if you look at any stats, you can see they defend much better against the pass, and you can pick up.
Do you know how many times I've used your stat for that?
Oh, my God. And what did they do on the very first series?
Chucked it.
8 yards, Ramondre Stevenson, 2nd and 2. Throw it incomplete
and I loved
to
the-
Hunter Henry.
I loved the
Throw
first
it
one.
incomplete. Oh,
Hated
great.
the second
great.
one.
What's that?
I loved the first one. The 2nd and 2, I loved taking a shot. 3rd and 2.
Well-
Okay, it didn't work. The shot didn't work. Now just run the ball and get the first down.
I don't know. I'd be happy with them just running the ball all the live long day. So I think it's a good key. All right, finally, your key.
Yeah, mine's got to put Max Crosby in the spotlight here. I just worry, frankly, about him blowing the game up for Mac Jones. He's a guy who's a little bit, gun shy last couple of weeks, and it seems like he's looking at the rush. Well, Max Crosby's a guy that is going to make you look at the rush. So prevent Max from getting sacks is my Hardy-inspired key to the game. I just think he's the big guy on their defense, and you got to have a good plan for him. I'm a little bit worried when you see him coming off that right edge with Vidarian Lowe at right tackle again, how much damage Max Crosby can do today. And I think it feeds well into Paul's key. Run the ball. Keep Max Crosby off of Mac. Try to use some of his aggression against him. But I think that's just a huge key on offense today. Don't let Max Crosby blow up the game.
And
All
I
right.
think that's like really important too. Why I want Mac to, or whoever, I have to keep saying whoever because you never know who's going to be in there. Why I want Mac to like stick to the script. If it's not there, if your reads aren't there, throw it away or just take the sack.
I just think if he doesn't do yours, Tamara, he's going to be out of the game quick.
I'm sorry, I went a little long on this. We'll vote afterward, but first we have to go behind enemy lines.
You know the view from New England,
We go behind enemy lines.
but what about the view from the other side?
And that's why you're our favorite pregame show guest every year.
You guys know you tell everybody that.
Oh, yeah?
I was on with you guys in 2018 Thursday Night Football.
Yep.
And I was told I was the favorite guest of the show.
Nope.
No.
Time now to go behind enemy lines.
My God, it's coming right for us!
Joining us now from Las Vegas and the Las Vegas Review-Journal, Vinnie Bonsignore here joining us once again, I believe for a second straight year, Vinnie, on the Patriots Pregame Show, fueled by Dunkin. Thanks for being back on.
Yes, thanks for having me. And by the way, I've been listening in, and I hear some angst in your voices. And just as somebody that spent a lot of time covering sports in Los Angeles and the Lakers specifically and all the championships that they won and all the greatness, and then seeing when they, after Kobe retired, the nosedive they took, nobody cares. Everybody's laughing right now at the expense. So just as you're going through that period, and I get it and I understand it, I saw it firsthand, but everybody else is celebrating.
I was going to say, Vinny, is it angst or is it resignation? Because I feel like it's more resignation.
It's turned from angst to resignation. Yes, I could sense that there's a little bit of a transition going on as well.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just going to keep playing into that angst. And what can you tell me about what Jacoby Myers has brought this year to Las Vegas's offense?
Yeah, and I focused a lot on him during OTAs and training camp, and the term that I came up with him for him is just a smooth operator. I mean, he's not the fastest runner, but he runs great routes. He's got great hands. He's always where he needs to be. He always figures out ways to get open. So out here on the West Coast, we're going to be honest, we didn't know a whole lot about Jacoby Myers. We rarely saw him. But I think he's definitely the Raider Nation and Raider fans out, out here on the West now understand what it was all about. This guy's a good football player, and he's definitely brought a great dimension to the Raiders' offense.
You know, for us this week, we were kind of battling which player for the Raiders is going to have the biggest impact in this game in order for the Raiders to win. Do you have it being Devontae Adams, or do you have it being Max Crosby?
Probably a little bit of both, because they're going to need both of them. And I was joking earlier, but, as bad as it is for the Patriots, the Raiders are still trying to find their way as well. It seems to be a recurring theme here in Las Vegas for this group. But they need all hands on deck. That's the way they're going to win football games. And really, honestly, it starts with the quarterback. They need to get better play from Jimmy Garoppolo. He's got way too many turnovers. He's played unlike the Jimmy Garoppolo that we saw in San Francisco. I don't know what the reason specifically is for that. The offensive line hasn't played as well. He's slow to transition. He missed a lot of time coming off the foot surgery. So there's a combination of things going on. But if you were to ask me who needs to really play well for this to be a decisive win for the Raiders, I'm going to start with the quarterback.
I wanted to ask you a little bit about the running game too, Vinny. Josh Jacobs, obviously a huge year last year, and I know he probably didn't do much in the offseason with the franchise tag and all that. What has been the biggest problem with getting the running game going?
Well, time and time again, he gets hit behind the line of scrimmage. So whether he's just running to the wrong hole, which I don't think is the case, or just the offensive line just isn't getting the job done. And there's been a couple of guys in particular that have just struggled along the offensive line. Jermaine Illuminor, their right tackle, and their right guard, Alex Van Rooten, hasn't been playing as well as they had hoped. So I'm going to go more with the offensive line, and that's been the struggle. It looked a little bit better last week against the Packers, especially in the second half. And I also think that the passing game getting on track is going to be able to help Josh in the run game. So that kind of goes a little bit hand in hand. Defenses really aren't respecting Jimmy's ability to throw deep, or even the Raiders' motivation to throw it deep. So they're creeping up on the line of scrimmage and creating a numbers game that the Raiders just haven't been able to handle, especially on the offensive line.
Vinnie Bonsignore from the Las Vegas Review-Journal. A lot of conversation surrounding Bill Belichick here in New England the last couple of weeks. I know you guys are coming off a win against Green Bay, but according to Diana Rossini and other stuff I've been hearing, there's been some conversation about Josh McDaniels here recently too. What's the latest that you're hearing?
Yeah, I think that it would take like a really deep nosedive from this point forward, I believe, for any kind of action to happen in regards to his job. I think Mark Davis, I've talked to him about this. He's gone down the road of fire coaches, bring in a new regime. Now, give it a couple of years, then go in another direction. It hasn't gotten them anything. I mean, this has been 20 years plus running of the Raiders being, kind of a mediocre operation. And he hired these guys for a reason, and he wants to give this the necessary time for the roster to get turned over and get their quarterback in place and really, put together what he was sold on with Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler. And I think he's willing to give it that time. Now, that said, as I started off with, if it's a nosedive, if they're not showing any progress, if it's just an embarrassment, then changes will probably have to be made. But we'll see. That's good. It's a little ways off, I think, from having those types of discussions, seriously having those types of discussions.
Vinny, we spent a lot of time this week talking about Max Crosby. Just what else can you tell us about the defense and maybe some other players that you are looking to maybe step up today against the Patriots?
Yeah, they've gotten, and I give the general manager and the scouting staff a lot of credit for the Robert Spillane signing, the Marcus Epps signing, the drafting of Jacorian Bennett, and then some holdovers have played much better. Nate Hobbs, he's not going to play today, but he's been one of the stars of his defense. Divine Diablo, a third-year linebacker, Trevon Morrig, a third-year safety, are all kind of coming into their own. All of the guys that I just mentioned that are holdovers were literally playing in their third different defensive coordinator last year. That's a lot of turnover. That's a lot of learning of new systems. Now that they're in year 2 with Patrick Graham, I think you could feel that in their play. So it is the Max Crosby show without a doubt. He's just a phenom and a maniac out there. But they're starting to get more help now from the Spillanes and the Marcus Epps and the Moregs and the Divine Diablos, Nate Hobbses, and that's what it's going to take for this defense to turn the corner and continue to play well, and they have been playing well.
Vinny, how much of a boost has Jacoby Myers given this offense? Obviously, this is a sore subject for Patriots fans who are missing him right now and not too happy with the trade for, or I guess I should say the swap for Juju Smith-Schuster and Jacoby Myers. But how much of an addition has he been for this Raiders team?
Yeah, there's no doubt that he's been a great compliment, and in some cases, the number one option sometimes over Devontae Adams. Part of that is what teams are doing to take Devontae Adams away. And last year when that happened, the Raiders offense struggled to find another piece that was going to be able to be a constant in terms of, production. And that's no longer the case this year. I think Jacoby Myers has shown that he could carry it if need be. If Devontae's missed a little bit of time during the course of games with some getting banged up, and Jacoby Myers, was more than willing and able to step up. That said, this offense still hasn't scored over 19 points, or they haven't reached 20 points this year, and that's almost inexplicable when you consider the weapons that they have. So as good as Jacoby Myers has played, it hasn't necessarily translated to points. That's got to change, obviously, if the Raiders want to get where they want to get to.
All right, Vinny, you got a score prediction for the game today?
It's hard with this team because just when you think you got it figured out, they change the pieces to the puzzle. But I cannot sit here and in any kind of good conscience say that the Raiders are going to win this game. They almost have to win this game. They're a better team. They should win this game. So I'm going to say that they're going to score 20 points. They're going to get to 24 points today, and I think it's going to be a 24-10 finish.
Okay. All right. Very good. Vinnie Bonsignore there from the Las Vegas Review-Journal. Good to talk to you again, Vinny. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Have a great one. Enjoy it.
Thanks. All right. There he goes.
Thanks, Vinny.
Enjoy it, I hope.
I kind of like how he separated the two. It's like there'll be two football elements on the field today, but it's like one team's going to score about 20-24. The other one won't score as much. Will it be like an actual football game? Will it be a product of sorts? I don't know.
I think it could be ugly.
How many points could the Patriots go out and score with no defense on the field? Could they go out there and score 24?
No.
Is Malik a quarterback?
I feel like even with no defense on the field, they'll find a way to trip over themselves.
Like
you guys, come on.
Okay.
Seriously.
You're being silly.
I am being a little bit silly, but if you were forced to throw the ball and complete passes and move the ball downfield, say a 50-50 split of running and passing the ball.
They got to be able to move the ball on this defense.
This is, and I still think that they've got obviously Crosby, and I mean, it's interesting listening to Vinny talk about some of those players that thank God we have Spillane. They found these kind of cast-off guys that they're getting good performances out of.
So they do have a lot of young guys on defense, and maybe they feel like they're building something.
Yeah.
With Patrick Graham, who we know obviously from his time here.
Well, we'll get the inactives here in a little while too.
Yeah.
But the offensive line to me still factors into this heavily. You don't need an all-world pass rush to throw Mac off his game and to disrupt things in the backfield. And if he doesn't have enough time, these receivers so far have not shown the ability to get open and create separation even against average defenses. So I don't know. Yes, they should be able to move the ball and they should be able to score. They should have been able to score more than 3 points over the last 2 games.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think they're going to light the scoreboard up, but they should be able to move the ball. They haven't been able to move the ball at all the last couple of games.
I think this could be a game, too, where the Patriots defense could come away with takeaways just because this Raiders team does turn the ball over a lot.
I hope so. I mean, it's just, they've lost a lot of those guys that have gotten those takeaways. So maybe J.C. Jackson wakes up and gets one of his kind of signature takeaways. But just to go back real quick to your offensive line point, I thought Riley Reif, I think everybody agreed, whoa, all right. Mm-hmm. Kind of a calming presence, and he's out again this week. Cole Strange still not able to come back. So they're, again, going into this game with the offensive line that they've been playing with and not much depth behind them, not really anywhere to go. So that was just another kind of unfortunate part of all those moves that happened yesterday with guys getting promoted, guys getting to IR finally, and all those things that they did.
I wonder if we'll see a lot of Farrell playing fullback today.
I mean, that was a little bit of an Evan thing. You know, I think everything's on the table. I know the reports today, Max on a short leash, those kind of things. So, you know, what does it really mean with you've got Rigger as an option now, you've got Booty could potentially be an option. You know, who's going to be the third quarterback? Is Will Greer? I mean, people are even mentioning that Will Greer could get a shot. Is he going to be designated the third quarterback? Is he going to be active? I mean, there's a lot of stuff to happen, I think, here when the inactives do come out of maybe what they're thinking. But it just feels like all hands on deck for anybody who's got any kind of offensive skill right now that's on the roster. They put Cunningham up on the roster. I don't know what it's going to look like. I mean, we talked about him all week, but he's just a guy we never really saw a lot out of. And everybody saw that, you know, drive in the first preseason game. And, you know, admittedly, probably one of the best offensive drives they've had all year going into the regular season as well. But we didn't see a lot of him in camp. There wasn't a lot of him throwing the ball around the yard.
And I would have liked that
kind of
drive
things.
a little bit if it featured anything that you can do in a real game.
Yep.
As opposed to just like running around and just say, hey, just take the snap and run around and make something happen. Now he was dynamic in college. He was an electric runner at Louisville, and I do think that that's the style that I think the league is going toward, the dual threat. But he needs to be able to do the other thing to be a dual threat.
Yeah.
A dual threat doesn't mean you can run. Dual threat means you can run and throw, and I think there's a reason why we haven't seen a lot of him at quarterback. I don't think the team thinks that he's ready for anything like that.
I just think it's I don't want to say a wildcat kind of situation, but it's that.
There could be a package of plays for him today. I don't think we will, but I could see like a small.
We need a spark.
Series
we need
where,
a spark. You get into
maybe Hardy, to your point, you get 2nd and 3rd and 2.
Yeah,
like last week. Yeah, throw Malik Cunningham out there. And see
if
maybe not only he gets the 2 yards for the first down, but maybe he gets you 20.
Yeah.
You get a little chunk play that way.
I could see like there being a trick play today of some sort, just because
I think
desperation.
Either team.
Yeah.
If Jacoby Myers doesn't throw a pass today, I'll be surprised. I think he's going to be heavily targeted and involved.
Yeah, just the desperation to get points on the board. I would not be surprised if we saw a trick play.
All right, we all need to vote. So go ahead, cast your votes. We'll fold them up, and then we'll count them. I'm going to go to Pat and to Agawam while everyone's voting on the keys. Once again, the keys, Tamara, stick to the script. Hardy, if the win doesn't happen in Vegas, just stay in Vegas.
And you can't vote for yourself, right?
Oh. Sure you can.
Oh.
Sure you can.
I
Paul,
vote for myself every week.
Paul, run the dang ball. And Mike, prevent Max from getting sacks. Just out of curiosity, Pat, who would you vote for? Who has the best key this week?
Definitely Paul, because they've only been able to run the ball one game this year very well, and that was against the Jets.
I thought we were close.
Okay. All right. What else you got there, Cousin Patty?
Yeah, Mike sort of brought this up a few minutes ago. Do you think we sort of see the same old, where they just, they trot out Devontae Parker for 90% of the snaps, or do you think we actually see some of the young guys get involved today, like hopefully, Taekwon and Keyshawn Booty? And Hardy, when you brought up Taj Mahal earlier, I wasn't really listening. I thought you were referring to Henry St. Clair Fredericks Jr. Being a DJ, you should know who that is.
Henry Sinclair Frederick Jr. It's a classic rock reference.
Classic.
Yeah.
Dude, classic.
I'm disappointing you. I'm sorry, Pat. I don't know.
That's all right.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's the question. Do we see the young guys, or, is it just sort of status quo? That's all I got, guys.
All right, thanks, Pat.
I think you're going to see both, but, I don't think Parker is suddenly not going to play. Yeah. He's, one of the only healthy receivers. He's going to play, I would say, probably close to 100% of the snaps like he does most weeks. Now, I think if they're healthy enough, I think you could see Thornton, today. Because, there's no Juju and there's no Douglas.
Your 2 slot receivers.
Those 2 guys are out. So Thornton's probably going to get some snaps. Bourne and Parker are going to be out there. I don't know how much you'll see Booty if he's active. I guess they had 7 guys that they already ruled out, but some of those guys are not even on the roster. I don't really even understand how it works anymore. I feel like everything is different. Cody Davis isn't even activated, and they had to rule him out.
Huh.
He's not even on the roster.
That's weird.
Right? I didn't miss anything with that, right?
No, he hasn't been activated.
So I'm not even sure what we're going to learn when the inactives come out.
Well, we're going to learn who is the new key holder for this week, or will Hardy retain the key from his outstanding key of last week? Vote number 1 goes to Deuce. Vote number 2 goes to Hardy. Vote number 3 goes to Hardy.
Oh.
The Deuce,
Could be
you
a
can
tie.
tie it. You can tie it. You can tie it. That's all you can do.
No.
Vote number 4.
Paul.
Paul.
Oh, Hardy takes it.
I retain the key for another week. Good. I don't have to go out to my car and get it. All right. Fantastic. Well, that's great news.
I think we should maybe transition to the first caller of the show decides who the best key is.
We'll do that next. We'll change the voting process every week.
Thanks, Cousin Patty.
Yeah. Floyd in Michigan. Floyd, what's going on?
Good afternoon, Patriots Pregame Show.
Good afternoon to you. What's going on, Floyd?
I have 5 questions.
Love it.
Yes or no only, one at a time.
Go ahead.
Get started.
All right.
Do it.
Chiefs QB Patrick Mahomes said the reason the Chiefs offense isn't playing well is because of me. Is Mac Jones the primary reason the Patriots offense isn't playing well?
Is it? Yes. In my opinion, yes.
Yes.
These are just yes, no answers?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, there's 11 reasons, but he's going to take,
sure.
Percentage-wise more than the others. Yes.
Question number 2. During the 2021 draft, Mac Jones was drafted at 15. Left tackle Christian Darrisaw was drafted at 23. The Patriots would have been better served drafting Darrisaw over Mac Jones and later drafting QB Davis Mills.
Yeah.
I don't know. How good's Darrisaw been? I think he's out today. Anyway.
I think Darrisaw is fine, but what about like Zaven Collins or someone like that? Like an athletic linebacker that they refuse to actually use.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm gonna abstain.
I'd
on
have to
that
look
one.
at the draft.
Yeah.
I
Abstain.
think they kind of had to go with Mac there, but
yeah, and I don't think you'd be any better off if you had Davis Mills.
Right. Okay. What's
I think
number?
you'd be in the same situation looking for a quarterback after 3 years.
Yep.
Number 3, Floyd.
Patriots had multiple scouts in attendance for yesterday's Washington-Oregon game. Is this normal?
Yes.
I would assume yes.
Yes.
Question number 4. Is Charger QB Justin Herbert overrated?
I will say no.
No.
I'm not speaking for anybody else, but I would say he's tremendous, and I think if he had a coach that had a clue, they'd win even more.
Yep.
Agreed.
Yep.
My final question number 5, is for Ms. Tamara Brown.
Oh, gosh.
If the Patriots end up with a top 10 pick and they don't draft a quarterback, would you be disappointed?
I would flip a table.
Oh. I didn't realize we
I
were
would
getting
riot.
Move some furniture.
Riot.
Okay. All right. Floyd,
Thank you for the call.
fantastic call as always. I would like Floyd just one of these weeks for like question number 5. Does this look infected? Completely off the board,
Yes. 4 relevant questions plus a wild card.
Plus a wild card. Just feel free to do whatever you want, Floyd. Your calls are tremendous. We have one open line, 855-PATS-500. Emails coming in to webradio@patriots.com. I will get to your emails in story form, as has been suggested to me by boss man Fred Kirsch. So we'll get to those coming up too. But first, Michelle in South Carolina. Hello, Michelle.
Hello, everybody.
How are you?
I am good. I am in Kiowa at the golf course.
Okay.
What now?
I have 10 questions.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, jeez.
But I do have one, and then I have a couple of points that some people already made. But would we, Cousins is going to be on the market, I think, after this week. Why wouldn't we go after him?
Not after this week, after this season.
No, isn't he? I thought they were going to put him. I thought we were going to be able to go after him, or teams were going to be able to go after him.
Well, anybody could trade for him, but he has a no-trade clause, and he says he's not waiving it.
Oh, I thought he said he was. Okay.
He'll be a free agent after the season.
Oh, okay.
And then anybody can go after him then. But, I mean, you could certainly work something out with him now and see if you could get him to, waive his no-trade clause. But why would the Patriots want to acquire a quarterback, especially if they lose today, at 1-5?
Well,
that's only going to hurt your draft status.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just figured we'd go after anybody. Maybe hold out a sign on the street or something. I was
Tryouts today.
ask about.
Remember that guy that used to?
Butte.
Were you here then?
Yes.
I was going to ask Butte if he would be the catch and run guy today.
Booty?
If Thornton played, he should be a big help if he has his normal speed. And if we know, is Cunningham up? And if he is up, is he up as a receiver?
We do not know yet.
And who's the healthiest?
She said she didn't have 10 questions.
She really had.
But damn it, she did.
She had 10 questions.
No, I don't.
No, they're all
The last thing,
Michelle, they're all really good questions. Unfortunately, we just there's so much newness to this with Cunningham and Booty and I think they're all really relevant questions for today. I just don't have. I don't know about you guys.
Answers yet.
I don't have the answers.
well, you don't have answers. Well, you better get on it.
Okay,
Yeah,
all
no,
right.
you're right. You're right, Michelle.
Well, we need to have a good running game, and I need to know who's going to be on the edge to stop Crosby, and have a good game, guys, and hopefully I'll talk to you after.
Okay, thanks, Michelle.
Michelle.
Thanks, Michelle. I just think it's a complicated situation when the receivers just, like we said, they lost their two kind of inside receivers that they've been playing there, and none of these guys are really. I mean, Thornton's not a slot receiver. I mean, I guess you could maybe make the case that Booty is a little bit more of that, but even Rieger is more of like an outside guy. So they really just not sure how they're gonna, who they're gonna put in the middle. And I mean, I'm not sure how much it really matters, but it seems like they're ready to audition some guys today, depending on what it looks like with the inactives.
Let's continue with the phone calls here. We got them coming in fast and furious. We've got Logan from Indiana. Hey, there you go. That might be the first one of the season.
Logan Roy.
Oh, no, he's no longer with us.
Oh, right.
Spoiler alert if you haven't finished Succession. It was the steak frites that did him in.
Steak frites.
Eric in New Jersey. Hello, Eric.
Hey, how we doing, fellas? How you doing, Tamara? Today's Colonel's last stand. I think this is. I think Bill's got to do anything, to get this team back on track. Which I don't think there's any hope for this season, and I kind of get frustrated. For all the talk about trying to add parts. Like I said, I know you hinted at this week. Definitely won't want to be adding, taking away assets. To get parts for this team that you said earlier this week, Paul. But just looking at this team construction, I think we hit it this off season. Obviously during this season, this is just random pieces. I don't really see that team as far as the collection of parts. And I kind of want you guys to think. Like I said, next 2 weeks tough. Miami, Bills. You obviously got to win today. I don't think even winning today changes anything overall. But I'll take it off the line. Thanks, guys.
All right, appreciate it. Thanks, Eric. Oh wow, quick on the trigger.
What was the? I think I missed what the question was.
Yeah, I think he's talking about sort of the roster and the mismatch pieces and whatnot. And I do agree. And if you can get. If you could acquire something, and that has been my mindset, is I don't want to give up anything for acquiring. But if you can get a player that you think would fit what you're trying to do moving forward, it's not a rental. Like, I don't want to pick up Kirk Cousins and then lose him at the end of the year. That's an extreme example, obviously, with a quarterback. But
don't want to pick up Kirk Cousins at all.
Like, if you could acquire a player that you thought would, he maybe has a year or two still on his contract beyond this season, and you think he's a good player, he can help you, and you can work with him next year, I wouldn't mind giving up, a draft pick for that.
Yeah.
I don't want to give up a draft pick for a rental this season when that guy's not going to be part of my equation going forward.
Paul is describing girl math. And if you haven't seen this on TikTok, that is girl math. In the sense that when you get something and it's essentially almost free.
Yeah.
You're essentially not spending money on it, and it's a win-win situation.
If you get something at a huge discount, it's like
no, it's it's actually the opposite though. I don't mind giving something up to get somebody as long as he's going to be here. I don't want to give up something to get someone who's going to play the last 10 games and then be gone next year.
Especially this season.
I'll pay money for something I think is good and can help me.
Hopefully you can get a discount too, like J.C. Jackson.
Yeah, I want something good. Like, he's not going to be part of next year. He's like, I'm done with J.C. Jackson. The more I watched highlights, the more I don't think he was all that impressive last week. By the way, I like the Jerry Jeudy thing is something. If he had like 3 years on his contract, but I don't like the way he handled the whole Steve Smith thing the other night. He really hasn't done anything.
Yeah.
Like, what's I saw someone had a great comp between him and Chase Claypool.
Oh,
you know, Claypool's like on his third team, and some people say he's not worth it. And everybody's like, oh, Jerry Jeudy, I'd give up a second-round pick for him. Like, what's the difference now? They've accomplished the same exact thing in the league.
We just get on these names, and it's like,
so I'm
this
sort
is
of, I'm sort of changing my tune a little bit. The more sometimes, believe it or not, I'm very stubborn, but sometimes people are able to convince me that, you know, like, I don't know what you see in Jerry Jeudy, and I kind of came to that conclusion Thursday night. What do I see in Jerry Jeudy that other people don't?
T. Higgins.
Nothing. T. Higgins is excellent, but his contract is up. So I'll take him.
It's a free agent.
Yeah, but I'll pay for that. I don't think they will, but I would. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't necessarily need it for cheap. I don't need the deal. I want the player, and players good players cost money.
Logan in Indiana is back on the line. Logan, what happened before?
Logan.
Bad reception.
Okay.
Y'all there?
Yes.
So, what do you guys think? I hear all this talk. I love your guys' show. Just, you know, it's a business decision, right? It's the NFL. You move on. Bill Belichick, I know you've done this. I know you've done that. Let's move on. Gerard Mayo, Bill O'Brien, you can save this season with what you guys call the kids.
You can't save this season.
If they lose today, can you save this season, Logan?
Okay. And then, maybe not save it, but see what you really got. And at the end of the year, Kraft.
Not how it works.
Scrap it and get you a, Sean McVay type Shanahan and move on.
All right.
Play the kids. Bill Belichick, hey, that's his famous words. It's a business decision.
All right, Logan, I appreciate the call. I mean, we can talk about this as little or as much as you want. I do believe there is a business aspect to the decision, not the one that Logan is talking about, though, but from a team ownership standpoint, where you are compelled and probably required by some letter of some ownership law to put forth a viable product on the field. Now, whether it's the fault of the head coach or every single player, you want to break it down. If you're unable to get the win today and you do rack up a couple more losses and things don't look much better, it's hard to imagine them getting worse or staying as bad as they've been with the last two losses. But if things don't improve, as distasteful as that may seem to ownership and to a lot of people who follow the team, aren't you kind of compelled, for the ticket holders, for the fan base, for the TV viewers, for your corporate sponsors to say, okay, we're serious about this. That letter that we sent at the end of last season saying about we're serious about winning and getting better and making it back to the playoffs. If the one in charge of your football operations from a GM and head coach standpoint does have you off to a 1-5 after today, very easily turns into a 1-6, 1-7 start. Isn't there some motivation from a business standpoint right there to fire him, even if it doesn't change the season, just to show everybody, oh, we were serious, we weren't joking around, and this is how serious we take it?
I think so, because it's like if you're going to send that message out saying that like changes are going to be made and you're probably going to end up sending another one at the end of the season, it's like I think you should get a head start and go ahead and put it out there like, hey, I'm looking for a new head coach, because then you're obviously going to get a top 5 draft pick too, potentially too. So it's like you want to make it abundantly clear. We're going to have a new head coach. We're going to have some great picks in the draft. And Robert Kraft always says, like, you build your best team in the draft, and you want to do that with a new coach in the building as well.
Right. Yeah, I agree with the general point. I mean, my thing is he's put this whole thing together for 20 years. I mean, I don't know how much benefit you get, from just going to, like, Gerard Mayo and then letting him do the rest of the season. I would, let him finish the year out. I mean, I understand Tamara's points, but I think part of it, too, is, like, you just got shut out at home, like one of the worst shutout home losses in team history. Those are big things, especially when you have put a lot of money into this stadium. The fans are coming here looking for a win. They haven't even gotten a win this year. So I think that all those things are big, and I just want to see what fight they have today. Coming off of 2 brutal losses, You got to fly all the way out to Las Vegas. You're facing a team that knows you pretty well. I'm sure that that's going to be a little bit of motivation, seeing Josh and Jacoby over there, and along with everyone else. So how much are they going to fight today? How much are they going to come out today with a fire under them to come out and try to get this thing right? Because if they don't, then I think anything's really on the table.
I think so too. If they did fire him and then let Gerard Mayo coach the rest of the season, it would be a good audition, so to speak, to see how he rallies this team to get through the rest of the season.
But what if but what if it goes terrible? Like, what if they continue to lose under Gerard Mayo and it looks just as bad? And you think anybody's going to say, and it's not really Gerard's fault. He didn't really put this team together. I would just be careful of that, where it's like, how much are the advantage of really rushing to get rid of Bill Belichick is that really going to give you within the season? And I know that there's an argument to be made, and certainly the product on the field has been such that it really makes everybody asking this question, from Teddy Bruschi this morning, Julian Edelman. I mean, you're hearing guys this week who are part of the Patriots fabric of success around here that are, Julian Edelman saying the offensive side of the ball is just they've missed on too much, and I think that's really what it boils down to. So I think just don't get ahead of ourselves. Let's see what they have out in Vegas. We know what happened last year out in Vegas, and if this continues the trend, then I don't know, all bets are off.
I mean, I just look at it in the same way that a quarterback gets pulled.
Yep.
What you talk about, like being disrespectful and tarnishing the legacy if you trade him or move on from him mid-season. What message is it sending, and how is it helping his legacy if you just continue to let things go on as is, and they're en route to a 4-13 season? Because if after a loss today, it's real easy to look at the rest of the schedule and say, oh, they maybe got 3 more wins in there.
I don't even know if they have that, honestly. And it's like, and then for people who are saying, oh, you have to keep him until he reaches the record, it's like, it's going to take him.
Stop with the record.
That kills me, because I'm like, with this team in this situation, it's going to take another 4 years to get there.
The way that record is just hung around everybody's neck is,
it's ridiculous.
It's like he's already won a bunch of Super Bowls.
Do you understand that it is impossible for me to care less about that record? I could not. I have no care in my body about the all-time coaching record. Zero. And I know Bill does, and I'm sure, Shula and all his people do, and the owners probably do. The fans, I don't think, care. And I'm just speaking as like a fan and somebody who's, here watching week in and week out and here around it a lot. It matters not a cent to me.
Especially if it's going to take you 5 more years to get it because you're playing like this.
Especially if Andy Reid is going to take it over in 6 more years, which is probably going to happen. I mean, with the team that he's got there and he keeps racking up wins.
I mean, you want to get the record, you have to have a good team and you have to win games, and the clock is ticking. So, I don't know. It's just, I don't think it would be the end of the world if that were to happen elsewhere and this team, needs a reset. But we'll see what happens today with how much fight they bring. And, one last point on this I'd just say is, you got Buffalo coming in here next. We all know what Buffalo's kind of done to the Patriots the last few years when they've played in normal weather conditions. So that's another chance you have. And I always look at those division games as these are the teams you have to beat. This is where it tells you exactly where you line up right now. You're going to go up against Buffalo and Miami back-to-back weeks. And, as much as we're sitting here at 1-4 being like, oh, God, they really got to find something, because Buffalo's going to come in here wanting to not blow doors off again. And so far, they haven't really showed much ability to fight back off that, especially without Judon and Christian Gonzalez. They got to find something out there in the desert today if they want to come back next week and make competitive.
Let's go to Erica in Virginia. Hi, Erica. Thanks for calling the Patriots Pregame Show, fueled by Dunkin. What's going on, Erica?
Line 3.
It is line 3 again.
Yeah, we thought we fixed it, but
line 3.
It did sound good a second ago.
Line 3 is
walkie-talkie.
Yes, it very much is. Jeff in Maine on line 1. Crystal clear on line 1. Lima Charlie, what do you got, Jeff?
Clear. You guys hear me all right?
Yeah. You sound great.
Perfect. So I don't mean to spoil the Inactives, but people on Twitter knew about 45 minutes ago that Kayshon Boutte was going to be inactive. He posted an Instagram story that said, "Free me."
We just got him.
That has been confirmed on Patriots Twitter.
Yep.
Just wondering what you guys make of that situation. I know at the start of the season, people were saying, with the issues that he had at LSU last year, you really can't put him on the practice squad. He needs to be able to focus. So just wondering if you guys, why exactly you think he's still in the doghouse, and if it's just related to the feet staying in bounds, or if it's something
think so.
behind the scenes. I'll take it off the air. Thanks, guys.
No, and the inactives did just come. So Booty is one of the ones we didn't know. Bailey Zappi, though, has been designated as the third QB, which means for this that Malik Cunningham is going to be the backup quarterback. Will Grier is also inactive. So Bailey Zappi will be in the pen unless both those guys get hurt. So it does seem like they're going to give Malik Cunningham a shot. The other one, everybody knew everybody else. Juju, Demario Douglas, Booty, Strange, Reef, and Zappi is the third QB. So we'll see. I think they want to give Jalen Reagor a shot. I mean, that's what it seems like to me, because right now the information we're getting is that Malik Cunningham is going to be a backup quarterback. So you have two receivers who are out. If Booty's not going to step up, then it's really down to Thornton and Reagor. So we'll see who they put in the slot, how much they're able to get those guys involved. But I'm interested. I think they need to get a little bit of juice, a little bit of injection of some kind of speed. And we know Reagor was a first-round pick. He's got talent. We haven't really seen it out of Thornton yet. I mean, he had some moments last year. He had got hurt this summer on a really nice play. So those two guys are in, and we're hopeful that they're going to bring some kind of boost to this offensive attack.
All right, Troy in Virginia joining us now. Hello, Troy. Thanks for holding on. What do you got?
Hey, what's going on, y'all? I called because I'm trying to figure out what is most likely to happen: Mac Jones having a comeback game or Jacoby Myers having a great game?
Jacoby Myers.
Jacoby Myers. Okay, thank you. You're another bad connection there. Listen, this idea of a short leash for Mac Jones is starting to stick in my craw a little bit. Like somehow this is newsworthy. Somehow this is worthy of a report, right?
Right.
There was even somebody on one of my other group chats, one that you wouldn't be involved with at all, Tamara, so don't feel left out of this one. But someone else saying that they had heard it earlier in the week, and then there was this story today about Mac Jones being on a short leash, to which Zoe said, "See, told you." I'm like, oh, thanks, Scoops. Really? Mac Jones is going to be on a short leash? He's been yanked from the last 2 games. What kind of leash did you think he was going to be on? One of those long 40-foot training leads that you use at the park when you're trying to teach your dog how to catch a Frisbee? No, of course he's on a short leash. I thought it was newsworthy when he went in to start the second half against the Saints. I thought it was newsworthy when Belichick said at his Tuesday morning press conference, we're not making any changes at quarterback. To me, that's news. The fact that Mac Jones is on a short leash this week somehow qualifies as a shocker. Get out of here.
He better be.
He, of course he is.
If he gets yanked today, I don't think there's any coming back from that. Like I think at that point, it's like you might as well just start someone else against the Bills.
And the fact that what they've indicated is that they would turn the page to Malik Cunningham is just fascinating to me. Like, because we really didn't see him play much quarterback this year.
No.
I mean, as
much.
I mean, and it was. We kept talking about it. And what would happen would it be at the beginning of training camp practice? You'd see the first team defense out there, and then all of a sudden, the first 3 reps are just Malik Cunningham doing read option stuff and running up the middle, and everyone was losing their minds. And to me, it was like they're just trying to get ready for Jalen Hurts. That was pretty much the extent of the quarterback we saw of him play, except for a couple team sessions here or there. But I don't know what they've been working on behind the scenes. But when Bill talked on Friday, he still sounded like he's been working mostly as receiver. So I don't know. This is like break glass in case of emergency type thing where I don't know how much they would throw the ball. If they put him in, how many passing plays could they realistically have? Or is that just going to be pretty much we're running a read option, we're going to be handing the ball off, and that's what we're going to be forced to do because they don't really have any interest in putting Bailey Zappi in or Will Grier at this point.
Yeah, I will say that, if they do decide to go with Malik Cunningham as a starter for the rest of the year, this is hypothetical, of course, I would still draft a top 5 quarterback, but then you could just keep Malik Cunningham as the backup.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, and we're all trying to get our ducks in a row for how these things go and what your philosophy is going to be. I just wouldn't want to force it. I wouldn't want to take, if they're 10th and you can get the 5th best. I would really consider.
Trade up.
It's a rebuild. Sure, that's an argument. But if you can't get one of those guys, people are going to be upset. But if you could get a receiver or a tight end or a tackle, I still think those things are on the table. You're in a rebuild. It's not like we're going to make a couple moves next year and we're going to have this offense as the top 5 offense. Like, you have to be meticulous and methodical about how you rebuild the offense and not, well, we got to take a quarterback because Mac stinks. Let's just take the 7th best guy because that's what we are. You know, like they have to be better on the offensive side of the ball. And this draft, no matter what happens this year, I feel like it better be the first 3 picks are on the offensive side of the ball like it was last year. You know,
they better. Oh, look at that interception!
Mike Dussault just demanding the first 3 picks next year on offense.
I looked at a great time, but no, I think that I would love if they picked on the offensive side of the ball, but then also don't pick it from a school that I'm literally Googling your school, and that's no offense to
Virginia
Kyle
Tech,
Duggar,
Notre Dame. Who else you got? Florida.
Oh my God, that's no offense to Kyle Duggar and Judon, obviously, because they went to non-traditional schools, but like, I don't want a Cole Strange offensive side of the ball pick. I need an elite pick.
Guard. So, hey, PP, what did you think of the Inactives with Bailey Zappi being the 3rd quarterback?
I mean, I'm probably like you guys. I find it strange. I would have thought they would have gone away from the emergency quarterback altogether today and just had
get everybody in the mix.
Yeah, had Cunningham and Zappi. I'm not surprised that Greer is inactive, but I would have thought that both Cunningham and Zappi would have just been regular active players today.
Right.
You got a bullpen. Like right now, it's Malik Cunningham's your bullpen. And
so, just out of curiosity, like, how do you feel? And I know, I'm trying to not be snarky here, but how do you feel if like Mac Jones gets hurt in the first series of this game today?
Like they've left themselves
incredibly
limited.
And I understand they're 1-4, and people, what's the difference? But I don't think it's fair to Malik Cunningham if that happens. I don't think it's fair to the other parts of the offense, the team in general.
No.
I think they've left themselves in a very vulnerable spot. It was a strange decision. Now, I know they want to have Cunningham be able to play. But like I said, you didn't have to have him be the backup quarterback to do that. You just had to have him active.
Yeah. Well, especially in a week where, again, Paul, you were out of the room for a moment. We've heard that Mac is on a short leash, and somehow that's supposed to be news. Like, no kidding. He's been yanked out of the last 2 games, and it's like if he throws a pick or he's not looking good in the first 2 or 3 series, then he's coming out of the game, and now we know who's going in. That's startling to me.
Yeah, I was just asked on my chin wag. What do you make of that? I go, well, he was benched the last 2 games. Like, I think we all know that the leash was short the last 2 weeks too. He got benched.
Do you think that means that he'll come out sooner than waiting for it to be 30-0?
I think it means if the offense is not moving the ball, if he's not completing passes, or heaven forbid he turns the ball over in the first 2 or 3 series, that's it. It's all done. Mac, it was great, and we'll get to more of this on the other side.
I got to tell you right now, I don't think that's going to happen today. Now,
you think they'll wait for it to?
Because they can't just go full time to Malik Cunningham.
Yeah.
Good grief. All right. Let's,
I know
Malik
what you're
Cunningham.
Saying. I wouldn't be surprised to see Malik Cunningham at quarterback in the first quarter.
I want to talk a lot more about this no going back thing, which has been talked about a lot. I want to get everybody's thoughts on this, okay?
Good one.
All right, so let's do that as we continue here, the Patriots pregame, which is fueled by Dunkin. Kick off your week with free coffee Mondays tomorrow, and this is good until October 30th. Dunkin Rewards members can get a free medium hot or iced coffee with purchase. Nothing beats Dunkin Rewards. America runs on Dunkin. Limit 1 per member per Monday. Exclusions, additional charges, and terms may apply. Participation may vary. Limited time offer.
TouchView Interactive from the Yokers Company offers New England's leading schools and businesses technologically advanced and easy-to-use interactive displays, providing enhanced collaboration and improved student outcomes in the classroom, and an easy way to foster communication and teamwork in any business environment. Available in multiple sizes, TouchView also offers a built-in VC, allowing for easy use through video conference systems. For more information, visit okers.com.
By the time this Patriots fan is finished drinking his Pepsi, you'll be 15 seconds closer to game time. Patriots watching. Better with Pepsi.
Dunkin' Rewards members. Score big. Get a free medium hot or iced coffee every Monday all month long with purchase. Not a member? Join on the app right now. America runs on Dunkin.
This is the Gillette Labs with exfoliating bar. The bar and the handle removes unseen dirt and debris ahead of the blades for effortless shaving in one efficient stroke.
Get in on the action with DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of the New England Patriots. New customers can download the DraftKings app now and play free for millions in prizes using code PATS. That's code PATS, only at DraftKings. Minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
Isn't it time to get exactly what you want? Welcome to Red Hot Deal Days from Verizon, where you get your pick of our best deals. Like My Plan, where you can pick the perks you want and save on every one. For limited time, bring your own phones to a Verizon store and you can get My Plan for our best price ever. Get exactly what you want in your phone plan and only pay for what you need. Bring your phones to your Verizon store today and get My Plan. These deals won't last. It's your Verizon.
When someone accidentally threw away the school play costumes,
oh no!
Replacements were shipped with FedEx, and with picture proof of delivery, everyone could focus on the perfect opening night. FedEx, where now meets next. For residential delivery only.
TouchView Interactive from the Yokers Company offers New England's leading schools and businesses technologically advanced and easy-to-use interactive displays, providing enhanced collaboration and improved student outcomes in the classroom, and an easy way to foster communication and teamwork in any business environment. Available in multiple sizes, TouchView also offers a built-in VC, allowing for easy use through video conference systems. For more information, visit okers.com.
By the time this Patriots fan is finished drinking his Pepsi, you'll be 15 seconds closer to game time. Patriots watching. Better with Pepsi.
Dunkin' Rewards members. Score big. Get a free medium hot or iced coffee every Monday all month long with purchase. Not a member? Join on the app right now. America runs on Dunkin'.
This is the Gillette Labs with exfoliating bar. The bar and the handle removes unseen dirt and debris ahead of the blades for effortless shaving in one efficient stroke.
Get in on the action with DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of the New England Patriots. New customers can download the DraftKings app now and play free for millions in prizes using code PATS. That's code PATS, only at DraftKings. Minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
Isn't it time to get exactly what you want? Welcome to Red Hot Deal Days from Verizon, where you get your pick of our best deals. Like My Plan, where you can pick the perks you want and save on every one. For limited time, bring your own phones to a Verizon store and you can get My Plan for our best price ever. Get exactly what you want in your phone plan and only pay for what you need. Bring your phones to your Verizon store today and get My Plan. These deals won't last. It's your Verizon.
When someone accidentally threw away the school play costumes,
oh no!
Replacements were shipped with FedEx, and with picture proof of delivery, everyone could focus on the perfect opening night. FedEx, where now meets next. For residential delivery only.
Join the conversation by calling the Ace Ticket hotline at 855-PATS-500 or email the show at webradio@patriots.com.
Deuce has gone from the eternal optimist to going to a darker place. Paul, who is the eternal realist, and me, I'm just kind of a prick here to stir things up.
Live from our studios inside Gillette Stadium, here's Hardy.
All right, we are back on the Patriots Pregame Show, which is fueled by Dunkin. Remember, Bridgestone, official tire of the New England Patriots, is proud to partner with Sullivan Tire, New England's headquarters for quality Bridgestone tires. Visit sullivantire.com to find a location near you. So, Mac on a short leash, that bugged me during the week. I think he was already on a short leash because he got pulled out of 2 games in a row.
I agree with you, Hardy.
I think the real news happened when he actually went back into the game to start the second half against New Orleans. And the bigger news was when Bill Belichick said on Tuesday that we're not making a change. To me, that was more newsworthy than people saying, oh, short leash for Mac. If he has a bad start, they're going to pull him. No kidding. Like they did? like they've already done the last couple of weeks.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
It's got to be quicker.
I am more interested in the conversation surrounding Mac and the idea of pulling him from a game or not starting him in a game would indicate that you can't go back. After that, it's all done, and he just can't play quarterback no more. That's it. That's the end. What do you guys feel about that narrative?
I think what we've learned over the last couple of weeks is that they dislike their backup quarterback so much that you can't rule out them going back to Mac at some point if they have to. What else do they have? They obviously don't even really care for Bailey Zappi unless everybody gets hurt at this point. Will Greer, I think that was just kind of a pipe dream this week, people realistically talking about him, and he's not even active. So from what I've seen, they're willing to give Malik Cunningham a shot, but after that, it's probably just going to be back and forth with Mac.
Yeah, I think you make a good point about all that situation with the options, but I just don't understand the idea of a guy is the starter and you sort of bench him a couple times, then you take him out, and that means he can never go back in and start.
Thank you.
Let's just say for argument's sake, you had Tom Brady as the backup right now, and you just didn't know he was Tom Brady yet. Why can't you put him in, and then maybe he's not ready yet and go back to the starter? I don't really understand that line of thought, but Hardy's right. It's widespread. Well, once you take Mac out, you can't go back.
Oh, that's it. He's all done.
They just did last year.
Yeah.
They took him out in the Chicago game. Zappi came in and electrified the crowd, and then they went back to Mac Jones the next week. And I understand there was an injury involved, but I just don't understand why. Where is it written that the starting quarterback, once he loses the starting job, can never get it back?
I don't know. I don't think it is. And quite frankly, if that were a concern of theirs, hey, I know, far be it from the Patriots or any other team to play fast and loose with the rules, but maybe he's sick. Maybe he's got a foot, a paw, hoof, something going wrong, and he can't go for a couple of weeks.
If they take him out, obviously they're not happy with him. So I'm not telling you if they take him out, he'll ever get the job back. I'm just telling you he's not getting the job back because you can't do that.
Yeah, well, I think
because
too,
it's said,
right?
You can't do it.
And I think people are saying, some people are probably saying that because that's just what they want. They want once they're done with Mac, that they're on to next and whatever it might be.
But they're not saying that because of that reason, Mike. They're saying it because they actually think he's the better option. And it's like, hey, easy with that. If you pull him if you start somebody else, you can never go back to him. He'll be damaged goods.
It's the Mac supporters. You got to watch what you do because once you do that, you can't go back.
It's like he's already damaged. He's already damaged goods. He's a barely functioning quarterback in the NFL right now. And if he can't play the position after a few series today, which, again, I'm shocked he's getting another shot at, then so what? Pull him out. And if Malik Cunningham proves that he's really not a quarterback in the NFL, which, spoiler alert, he's not, because if he were, you would have seen him play quarterback a lot more in camp or in the preseason games, or Zappi proves that he can't do the job either, then you go back to Mac. What are we talking about? This isn't written in the Constitution that you can't serve more than 2 terms or anything else. It's a football team. You play who's ever best equipped to play the role on any given week.
I couldn't agree with you more.
Can we all just come back from Planet Zippy on this one and think about this as real grown human people?
So, and I'm actually taking it a step further in the short term just for today, because I feel the way they have this structured today, and again, before the break, I said I wouldn't be surprised if Malik Cunningham takes quarterback snaps in the first quarter today, but I think by design.
Yeah. Let's throw some curveballs at him. Go in there.
All
right, Mac,
I have a wildcat package
hell,
involved. He's going to be my Lamar Jackson, the guy he replaced at Louisville. We're going to, maybe we have a couple of one-read, simple throws for him off of this set of plays. I wouldn't be surprised. Okay, but what I would be surprised at is, regardless of Mac Jones, now, unless it's I'm talking, he's thrown 2 pick sixes and had a strip sack fumble. They're down 25 points in the first half. Okay, now they got to take this guy out, right?
He's rattled.
But let's just say, for argument's sake, Mac goes out there and they just go 3 and out a couple times, and then maybe he throws a pick and they're losing 13-3. And he's been miserable. I don't think he's coming out of the game because I don't think you can take him out of the game.
Yeah.
Because
with Bailey Zappi, you could have taken him out of the game. You can't take him out of the game and just have Malik Cunningham out there.
So what does that mean? What does that mean to you in terms of the way they've put this team together for
it
today?
It tells me that they think he's playing.
And Zappe is really, as much as we think, not ready. He's even less ready to take over.
I mean, I think Felger and Mass had a good point on Zappe this week, which was, unfortunately, this is another player that showed some promise last year that clearly they are like, only if everybody's hurt are we going to put Bailey Zappe.
That draft class, is really taking a step back.
Huge.
And now a lot of it is due to injury, but Cole Strange, Tyquan Thornton, then you go
Marcus
to
Jones,
Marcus and Jack Jones, who have been hurt, and Bailey Zappe. Like, the only guy in that draft class that actually looks like he's gotten a little bit better is Sam Roberts. Yep. And I saw my buddy Mike Reese wrote about it this morning. Yeah. And it really is kind of eye-opening with that. They're supposed to go the other way.
Right.
It's supposed to be the year 2 jump.
Yep.
And
I mean, go to the year 3 jump. I mean, go to the 21 class too. I mean, and I think when we talk about like things that are an indictment of the program right now, it's the fact that draft prospects, guys that you select that show some promise early on, they're not getting to that next level. They're regressing.
So do you guys think I'm overstating it? Like, with I find the inactive thing really confusing. Like, I don't think that they can take Mac Jones out of this game today for performance, because I don't think they have an option until the 4th quarter. Yeah.
I mean, I would agree. I'm surprised. I just want to see what it looks like. Like, we're so close to it now. Like, what does it look like when we get out there? But you're right. I mean, if he's bad, it's probably going to get worse with Malik Cunningham. As much as everybody wants to think that all of a sudden Lamar Jackson's going to enter the game for the Patriots.
And again, when I say bad, I'm not talking about like last week bad. Like, he threw a pick 6 early, and then like the offense just didn't move.
And they had nothing to go. They got nothing to go to.
If it's just a complete disaster, like there was like 3 or 4 series in a row in that Dallas game. Mm-hmm. If that happens to start the game, he's going to come out, and they're just going to say the hell with it.
Yeah, we'll just run it.
We're going to run out of the Wildcat every play.
Paul, I understand what you're saying, but if they found enough with Malik Cunningham this week, and not just Wildcat stuff, not just borderline trick stuff. If they said, look, he can actually complete some short passes and he can run the ball and he can move out of the pocket, they may do it and say it's not going to be any worse.
Yeah, well,
they may pull him for performance and put in Malik today.
Okay, so you think I'm overstating it?
I don't think you're overstating it, because
I'm not arguing.
I think you make a good point. I think you're understating how bad it is to have a quarterback in there who cannot put together and cannot lead an offense in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I just don't think that it's fair to Malik Cunningham.
No.
He's not even leading an offense in practice. He's playing wide receiver for the most part.
And how much have they been doing with him leading up to this? Like, it wasn't just this week. I mean, like, as much as part of me wants to believe that maybe, hey, Malik Cunningham's got a better grasp of this offense than Bailey Zappe does right now. Like, he knows where to go with the ball, and if we just get him some time, like, I think a lot of people want to make that jump. It's just hard when we haven't really seen it, but you're going to see him in the game. I think you're totally right, Paul. He's going to be in there for some pass, which is even risky in and of itself.
And I wouldn't be surprised if it's early. Like, they have something they have in mind, and they want to use him, and they do it in the first half or even the first quarter. I would be surprised if they go 3 and out like 3 times to start the game, and all of a sudden here comes Malik Cunningham and places Mac Jones. I would be very surprised to see that.
Courtney in Houston. Courtney joining us now on the Patriots Pregame Show, fueled by Dunkin. Hi, Courtney. Courtney!
Hello, Houston.
Courtney.
Good job, Harvey.
Courtney's gone.
It's 2 dropped calls.
It's a good Boston name.
Yeah,
Courtney.
You're absolutely right, Paul. It's my fault.
Yes.
Christian in L.A.
I blame Fred during the week.
Hello, Christian.
I always blame Fred. That's my default.
Yeah, yes.
When in doubt, blame Fred.
Christian knows me so well.
So when Bill said starting over, I believe him. I believe that the reason why he brought Rieger back in and he's got Tyquan Thornton is because he's got a quarterback, or what you guys call a quarterback, or what some people might call, I think he is, and Malik Cunningham, who can move the pocket. Your line is Swiss cheese, so you got to have someone who can move the pocket, and the guy can zip the ball down the field. I see them taking at least 2 or 3 deep shots with Malik going to Thornton or Rieger just for the hell of it, because starting over is starting over. I'll talk to you guys after the game. Let's go, Pat.
Can I make one point?
You can make 7.
Is it possible that when Bill Belichick said we have to start over, he was just referring to their weekly thing of we just have to start over this week like we always do? Like, I just wonder were we really reading in like he wants to start over the whole offense? Was he just saying we got to start over this week like we always do, back to square one? We're gonna get it. Like
Tyquan Thornton was on IR. He's now healthy enough to be on the roster. It's a coincidence.
Yeah.
Jalen Reagor was elevated from the practice squad because Juju Smith-Schuster and Demario Douglas got concussed in the last game. Again, that's a coincidence. It's not like this grandiose plan to, you know what, we're going to do this all different. We're starting over. We're going to put these guys in there instead of those guys. He wasn't benching Demario Douglas and Juju Smith-Schuster.
I mean, the Cunningham thing is interesting.
The Cunningham thing is pretty obvious based on how bad Mac, like Hardy keeps railing against. Yes, he has a short leash. He got benched each of the last 2 games.
Part of me still just thinks that he said starting over, and everybody jumped to made this grandiose meaning of, and it really, I think, could have very well been every week they quote unquote start over and begin with a new game plan, and we come in fresh. I wonder if that's what he was making. Ooh, Debo's out, will not return.
Red Zone Mike chiming in.
I have something positive that we can get to.
You're positive about it?
Regarding this team.
Okay. Let's do it. Do it.
Do you want to do the over-unders first, or do you want some positivity?
I thought that was that was the positive.
Here's the positivity. And this relates back to your show, Paul, that you do with Felger and Maz, another radio station during the week, but the Paul Perillo Show on 98.5, the Sports Hub. Mike Felger, who is also on that show.
Featuring Mike Felger and Tony Maserati.
Made a point that I had thought about very much the same way, which is after this 1-4 start and these last 2 games have been bad. If you get a win today in Las Vegas, okay, number one, you still have hope of having some kind of a season. And it's just looking at the schedule after that. It's like, okay, if you somehow manage to move the ball and score some points and get a win today, maybe, just maybe, based on the way Miami looked early today, I haven't checked it recently, or maybe the way Buffalo's looked at time, maybe you find a way to steal one of the next 2 after today.
See, I will be on board with that if they beat Buffalo and Miami. Then you have a chance to salvage the season.
Even if you, okay.
I didn't expect them to lose all of these games.
Well,
to New Orleans and the Raiders, I figured they'd split them.
Yeah.
But, Paul, even if all you do is win today and then you split between those next 2, you're sitting at 3-5 on the season, and then you've got Commanders, Colts, Giants. Wait a second.
2-1 or 1-2 in those 3 games.
All right, but you see, you're inching closer to like a 500 football team.
Oh, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. I don't, because I don't believe it. I really don't.
I'm just saying, with a win today and it's split out of the next 2, you've got a season to watch. I'm not saying you're going to the playoffs and you're doing anything else.
The 500 part for me is the Washingtons, Indies, Denvers, Pittsburghs, Giants.
Chargers, maybe?
But, okay, Chargers, Jets. They will go 500 in those 8 games. That's where I can live with 500 there. That's 4 wins. They have 1 now. That's 5.
5 and 13.
If they upset somebody, that's 6.
12. Yeah.
I just don't think they're running the table by beating Miami, Buffalo, Kansas City. They haven't proven that they stack up with those teams. Now, can they win today? They can absolutely win today. They can beat the Raiders.
Yeah,
I meant this to sound positive. What I'm really doing,
and I left you with a positive. Well, they can win today.
They can win today, and what I'm really looking for is to not have a disaster of a season.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah,
okay, that's it. That's all I'm asking for.
They got to turn around
today.
in the last 2 weeks. I mean, this is it's going downhill.
Now we can do the over-unders.
Is that Cole Strange?
It's time for this week's edition of Over-Unders.
You're over me? When were you under me?
Speaking of disasters, last week was a disastrous week for me in the over-unders. Go ahead.
I wanted you to start with the positivity. Last week, Mike went 4-2, Paul 3-3, Hardy 1-5.
Well,
oh jeez.
Oh,
season totals though. Season totals here. Mike and Paul 15-15, Hardy 11-19. You're not far behind.
For not being pregnant.
It's not great. It's not great. But this is a new week. a new round of over-unders. We're going to start with Marine Mac giving us the first one, and Deuce, you'll be up first. Let's go.
Mac Jones passing yards, 208.5.
Oh, boy.
Straight from DraftKings.
I'm going to go under. I'm sorry.
I'm doing it again. Over. One of these weeks he's going to finish all 4 quarters.
I mean, he may not even be in the game.
He played all 4 quarters last year, and I don't think he
Guy.
topped this against these guys.
He didn't, but I'm going to take
I'm with
the
Deuce.
over.
I'm going under.
Paul.
It's amazing.
Bastion
I'm
positivity.
I'm tied for the lead, and I give you guys one every week.
Jimmy G passing yards. I wrote
He's
passing
got
touchdowns.
235 passing touchdowns.
It was supposed to be passing yards, 235.5.
Okay, so this really is going to change my. I like to pre-think these a little bit. I had the under. I was heavy on the under.
You didn't think he was going to throw 234 touchdowns?
I was going to hammer the under on that.
Like career? What
Matter
are
of
we
fact,
doing?
I was going to actually make some calls within the Patriots organization. I know we're not supposed to go on DraftKings and those sites, but I was going to see if they could make an exception for this one.
All the people that looked the sheet over, nobody could have pointed that out for me.
How many people review it?
I literally just saw it, Matt. I didn't even know.
I print out 9 of these.
We know what you meant.
235.5. I'm going to take the over.
I'm going under.
I'm going to go over.
Oh,
sorry, Hardy.
There will be blood.
Ramondre Stevenson rushing yards, 44.5.
Got to run the ball today, and got to run it with Ramondre. I'm going over.
I don't think I'm going to just play more of the same card, anticipating they play like they played, so I'm going to go under.
And I'm going to continue to be an idiot and pretend that something's going to change. So I'm going to take the over.
Nice.
Josh Jacobs rushing yards, 70.5.
Ooh, there's an opportunity for some positivity. I'm going to go under on that one.
I like the over on that.
I got to play this smart.
What do you got?
I'm going with you again, Deuce.
Under. Yeah.
Nothing to do with any kind of football thinking. This is just over-under win total thinking.
Devontae Parker receiving yards, 38.5.
Oh, for God's sakes. I said over 208.5. Over. I got to go over. Right?
You got to maintain the narrative, Paul.
I got to
Paul
maintain
Perillo,
the
the
narrative.
O
Good
stands
phrase.
for over. He's 5 out of 5 overs.
Better than offensive.
Oh.
You see my O face?
I'm going to...
Ow.
You got me with that one.
You know what? This makes no sense. I'm going over.
I'm crazy. I'm going to go under.
This could be. I could go for.
I
6
think we
this
should
week.
just skip to the end of the show. I want Mike's pick, and I want it now. Because based on the over-unders, it's going to be about 111 to 2.
The total score, 41.5.
Oh.
What else I got? 26. Yeah, okay.
I'm going. No, it's me.
Sorry, my apologies.
Shut up.
He's telling you to shut up.
Trying my hardest.
Under.
It's Bailey Zappi and Mac Jones. Mondre.
You're under?
I'm under.
I'm under 2. Got to go under on my score.
Do it, Paul.
Oh, yeah. I'm under.
No.
My score is under.
Okay.
I'm very consistent with that. I go down, with consistently stupidity.
I got.
You went under?
Yes, everybody went under in the game?
We all went under.
Okay.
All right. Good times. Great oldies.
What's it to you?
I like it.
All right. 855-PATS-500, webradio at patriots.com has, here we go. Good day, Socialators. This is from Dan in Virginia, Michigan. Hardy, since Fred wants you to read the emails like stories, I'll start mine out as follows.
Perfect.
Once upon a time, there was a renowned king who ruled over a mighty empire for many years. Then one day, the king's best knight decided it was time to ride off for a sunnier kingdom, and the king's empire gradually fell further and further into disarray. Do all of you think Belichick's move to sign Malik Cunningham to a long-term deal and bring him up to the practice squad is a reasonable tactic given the situation, or should Belichick have just started Thornton to see if that gave the offense the necessary shot in the arm, along with maybe altering the offensive approach? Has the king overcorrected and tried to dress up a stable boy as a knight?
There he is. I don't know, man. We got to see what's in store today because I did not see this coming. I mean, I thought, all right, maybe they're going to elevate him and give him a chance. As Paul pointed out at the beginning of the show, the contract, don't read too much into it. It's not like they're suddenly dubbing him the next starter. But I think we all agree he's gonna touch the ball today a few times at least, and we'll see what he has. What does he bring some kind of spark?
There he is.
Thornton brings
And
some kind of spark.
there he is,
having
the time of his life.
Do you know that for sure?
And here he is, having the time of his life.
He looks like. But I mean, right now he's just catching the ball for Bailey Zappi like in warm-ups. He's like the receiver next to the guy catching the ball. So it's every little thing that happens here is something. He's not warming up as a quarterback really right now, is he? He's just catching the ball from Mac and then tossing to Zappi. So I don't know. What are we gonna see?
It's going to be a hell of an entertaining first few series here. See what Mac does, see how they react, and if
It'd be funny if he
Malik
just
goes
put
in,
a
what
ball
do
under
they
his
do?
arm and started like faking his moves.
Practicing fake plays and practicing trick plays.
Well, Mike,
so
I
that
thought I
everybody
had
can see
something
it.
to be happy for you because I know how much you don't. I mean, no
Tyreek
one
Hill?
really likes
He's
Tyreek
back.
Hill, but he had a long catch and run earlier, and it looked like he tweaked a hamstring, but he's back.
Ah, shucks.
Five for 150. Jonnu Smith is in the end zone.
Good God.
I mean,
pile it on.
Good.
Can we just real quick never mind.
What was Jonnu Smith a little?
Well, I just find
a
it
bridge too far.
No, but Smith's kind of been productive. Aguilar's kind of been productive. Like these guys have kind of been productive.
They've
elsewhere.
absolutely
I don't really
been.
get it.
They've absolutely been productive at some point. Well, probably good off-season show fodder.
Here's something that Scott in Maryland wants to run by us. Scott! I listened to Bill's last press conference. He said he was very excited to get to Vegas and commented on the Fortress. I assume that's the stadium. Continues to be a highly complimentary of the Vegas Stadium, and yes, their facilities, which
It's
he called
the facilities.
the Taj Mahal of football.
Yes.
My question is, do you think Bill's trying to get fired so he can set himself up to be Josh's replacement? Is Bill possibly unhappy with Mr. Kraft?
No.
I don't look. Bill's in no position to be unhappy with Mr. Kraft right now. I would say number one, number two. Why would Las Vegas want to hire if Josh McDaniels is not working out from the Bill Belichick coaching tree?
You got it.
Why would you go to the tree afterward?
Well, the more expensive tree.
This
too.
apple stinks.
Well, do you
Let
think?
I'll buy the whole tree.
What do you think of the Raiders?
I think they're not a very good football team.
Okay, so why do you want a 72-year-old head coach? He'll be 72 next year.
You need somebody who's going to go in there for 8-10 years.
Fix it.
Yeah.
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 That's the biggest thing for me.
Yeah.
I think they're
Team that's close?
Yeah. Chargers, if they get rid of Brandon Staley.
There you go.
Dallas.
Dallas.
We've talked about Dallas a little bit, and talk about laying it on thick.
Right.
If we're going to go by Bill Belichick's comments, I mean, Bill Belichick, when he was talking about Dallas and all the things they do with Jerry Jones and Steven Jones, I mean, like they really do a great job. Maybe could you interpret that as trying to sort of look ahead? When McCarthy, I think most people feel like McCarthy is sort of average.
That's not a crazy one.
As a coach.
That's not crazy.
Aaron Rodgers gets healthy, comes back next year. You got a quarterback in place. Pretty good defense already there.
Now that one I think is a bridge too far.
Yeah, no,
It's
that one.
It's fun though. It's fun.
I mean, that was what's funny is like Jets week this year. Like Bill was so serious, like you could tell. And even last week when they were still up against it, they had lost, coming off a bad loss. Like he wasn't as intense as he was against the Jets. I think the Jets still hold a special place of hatred in his heart.
Grumpy in Garner, North Carolina. I just watched Al Gahor kick ass in his game as a Raven, and then Flowers. Aguilar. The guy we should have drafted to give Mac a weapon, do the same.
Who?
Talking about Flowers.
Zay Flowers,
Yeah. Of course, Jacoby is doing great in Raiderland. Hey, let's let Mac leave and see if that resurrects his career. We owe him that much after the last year. The Pats are now where players go to die, much like the Browns were after BB left them in shambles. Funny how history repeats itself. I used to be 50-50 Bill Brady for the Pats.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't the Ravens win the Super Bowl in 2000, like 4 years after he left? I mean, I don't know. I mean, were they in shambles, really? That organization was in shambles when Bill
Cleveland was in shambles. Yeah.
Cleveland.
But they became the Ravens, right?
Yeah, and they had like 5 incredible drafts and went to the playoffs for the first time in 2000.
But they drafted some of those guys, right?
Bill didn't.
No, nothing?
No. I know he takes credit for drafting Ray Lewis, even though he had already been fired.
But he
he
left
did
it-
not.
he left a note.
As the press release said, he did not accompany the team to Baltimore in their move. And that request came from Art Modell, who fired him.
All right, so then there's hope, right? So 4 years, we could be in the Super Bowl, complete rebuild. There you
No,
go.
but Mike, in all seriousness, that has been like a little bit of a narrative around the Bill, admittedly not for a long time. When Bill was at the height of his powers, he not only was responsible for the Patriots dynasty, he was responsible
Ravens, too.
for the Ravens' rise, even though he really didn't have anything to do with it.
From Alan, Italy, subject line, "We are an awful team." After the game against the Jets, I sent an email to the Postgame Show saying we were an awful team. You told me I was too negative, and we weren't an awful team. Do you change your mind?
Which postgame show?
I don't remember saying anything really strongly either way, but awful might be strong, but they're not a good team.
They
So
played
I'm not
two-
going to play semantics.
They're
not a good team.
They played two of the worst games I've seen. They might be.
Yeah, I mean,
They might be, Al.
I'm not going to
Sorry.
argue. Yeah, I'm not going to argue semantics. They could be an awful team.
Yeah.
I mean, they've gotten 70 to 3 in the last 2 games.
Yeah.
72-3.
Two awful games, that's for sure. Is Brock Purdy significantly better than Mac, or just lucky to have a better supporting cast? That's from Peter Fritz in Wilmington, North
My
Carolina.
answer on that is a little of both. I think he is better than Mac.
I think he
I
is
know
better.
a lot of
He-
people sort of poo-poo that, but
he has a much better supporting cast.
But he has. There's no arguing that that team is stacked.
Right.
No, but and I
I
think
think it would look good with. I think Mac would look good in
Yeah.
San Francisco. I just don't think he would look as good as Brock Purdy has.
Charlie in Virginia, unbelievable. They're starting Rager and having Booty active. Wait, unbelievable.
Inactive.
Inactive, right. We know what Rager is, bad, but we don't know what Booty is yet.
I would largely agree with that.
The way Bill manages young players has hurt this team for years on top of his acquisition choices. Again, Charlie in Virginia.
I would largely agree with that. Like, you have a guy who has been in a couple of stops around the league and hasn't really looked good in any of them for any period of time. And by the way, Malik Cunningham is just running pass routes in pregame as we were watching the pregame highlights.
Odd for a quarterback.
So is he the slot receiver today? I'm
No,
wondering if he's the slot
I'm
receiver.
just saying,
He's a quarterback.
Now, you can go the long con. They're just showing Josh McDaniels and the Raiders coaches, don't worry, you don't have to worry about him at quarterback today. But I really, really believe that is a very, very small chance of Mac Jones coming out of this game for performance early in this game, unless it's a really horrific performance.
No green dot either for Cunningham. Little bits.
All right, let's go back to the phones here. Is it Sakoy in Georgia? Am I pronouncing your name correctly there?
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for joining us. What's going on?
I got 2 questions for you. One is, do you think that Bill Belichick should be asked to step down instead of being fired? And 2, do you think that we should go after a QB in the draft and get rid of Mac Jones? What's your thoughts on those?
Yeah, great questions, both of them. I do think, I hope that if it is indeed over at the end of the season for Bill Belichick, I hope it ends something like that. Like, maybe he can save a little face and it doesn't have to be, Black Monday. They can sort of come to an agreement, an arrangement. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I know most people will see through that and they'll call it a firing. It's like Danny Ainge with Brad Stevens a couple years ago.
Yeah.
We're going to restructure things. I think most people felt like that was a firing. So I hope it ends up like that. In terms of Mac Jones, I feel like I've seen enough. I would like to be in the draft for a quarterback next year. I don't know how you guys feel.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, I appreciate the phone call. Thank you. I
You
do
guys don't
agree that
wanna
they
weigh in?
no,
You wanna
I do
weigh
agree
in?
that they need to be in on a quarterback in the draft next year. I think the idea that yes, in a perfect world, everyone would leave their jobs on the best of terms, and everybody would thank them for their service, and there would be no hard feelings and no sideways glances at the way things are handled. But I'm telling you, a loss today, and then a couple more losses in the next couple of weeks, and you're sitting at 1-7 on the season, and you're not competitive.
Oof.
At some point, ownership, Paul, they've got a responsibility to.
If Bill doesn't agree to it, yeah, you have to make the move.
Well, no, I even like in season, it's like if you're not a competitive football team and you're not scoring points, I mean, you've got a responsibility to ticket holders,
Yeah.
sponsors, TV, radio, everything else.
Yeah, here's my worry with that is so much of this structure right now is tied to Bill. If you fired him tomorrow, they lose tonight, and you fire him tomorrow, who's coaching the rest of the season? Like, and I don't know that maybe there could be some professionalism involved, and it's everybody stays. But the two Belichicks, O'Brien, Mayo, Matt Groh, like you could conceivably lose a big part of the structure of your team that are all going to go with them.
They're just going to quit?
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
Steve, probably.
Steve and Brian.
Right.
You know, like that's hard. Like your father just got fired and you stayed. Like now, I could see an argument to be made for that Bill says, no, you guys have a career to worry about. Finish out this season, and you guys will be looking for jobs next year, but you finish out this year or whatever. You know, I could see that.
Well, paychecks, health benefits.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm not telling you that's why you can't do it, Hardy.
Yeah.
But I would worry about that if I were Robert Kraft, because you do have a responsibility to finish in a professional manner, right?
I have a real hard time seeing Bill get fired.
I do,
like
too.
I think the only way he leaves is it's a mutual
Oh, you
decision.
mean ever? Or during the season?
No, during the season.
Okay.
During the
Yeah,
season.
no, I'm with Mike.
I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't either. But I push back on the
can't.
That's
Yeah.
unthinkable. They can't. Oh no, you could argue that
I'm lockstep with you today.
If things stay this bad, they should and have a responsibility to do that. And
totally
even
agree.
then, I don't think they would. But
I'm just waiting to see.
Should.
I think there's going to be, and I want to say this delicately, I think there'll be some good things from this football team this year. And, like that's obviously a broad range, but there'll be some, you know what I mean? There'll be some moments where, if you're right and there's nothing and it's just, 13 more weeks of what we've seen the last 2 weeks, then I agree everything's on the table. But
have you seen anything good in the first 5 weeks?
I mean, like a handful of plays.
I would say
the
last
That's
two
it.
possessions of the first half of the opener.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Okay. Anna in Chelmsford. Hi, Anna. Anna?
How come the ladies are calling in, but they're letting us down?
I know. Well, Courtney in Houston is back on the line now.
There we go.
Courtney, what happened the last time?
Courtney.
My apologies, guys.
sorry.
You guys were hitting it on the nail, and I had sent an email. But I just wanted to say this real quick. I don't want to take too much of you guys' time, but one of the things, and you actually guys just talked about it, about the idea of Bill going to another team. Something that I hadn't seen really addressed in the media, and I don't know if this makes any sense, is the idea that could we trade Bill at the end of the season? And Paul hit the nail on the head. This is a team I was actually thinking of, the Chargers. They're a bad, well, I won't say bad coach, but they're a bad coach away from really having a team that could really compete at a high level. Could you bring in a guy like Bill, who now is extremely humbled, and now they have a structure in place where they're obviously very good at picking talent. So, hey, Bill, hey, didn't work out there. You're now with us. Just focus on the coaching. We got some things in place that's really going to be able to help you. Could you guys see something like that where we could get a draft pick? And reason being, or I'll use an example as the Broncos. Obviously, it's a firestorm at the Broncos, but they're actually able to have a fire sale. You know what I'm saying? They're able to get rid of talent to recuperate draft picks.
Yep.
As bad as it's been going for us, there's no one that we can really trade out of the building to kind of help start this rebuild. And the last point that I'll make, I don't know, and Paul, you are the best historian that I know of the game. I don't know if there's a coach, even of Bill Belichick's caliber, that should be able to survive a rebuild two rebuilds within 5 years.
Yep.
So just love to get you guys' thoughts on that.
Fair point.
Hopefully that makes
yeah,
sense.
definitely a fair point. The thing, the first question, and I don't know the answer because I don't know what Bill's contract status is. If he's under contract and they mutually agree to part ways or something like, then I think that Robert would be within his rights to demand compensation from somebody. But if he's not under contract and he gets fired, or gets fired, I should say, then they're not going to have it. I also think there's a chance, and I would like it to be this way. I know this is sort of like, it's very naive that you like to see things work out in a perfect way, in a perfect world. But like, if Bill really wants to leave and he's under contract, I think the Patriots should let him, like without holding his feet to the front. Well, yeah, you can go.
Yeah.
But we're going to get a draft pick for you, make it hard. He should be able to call a shot, much like they did with Brady. You know, they didn't force the franchise tag on him at the end. They allowed him to become a traditional unrestricted free agent, and the Patriots didn't get anything back. A lot of people criticize him for that. I don't. I think that Brady was owed that.
Yeah. And I think the Krafts have to be aware of the optics, too, of just, you know, how Brady left, how Belichick leaves. That'll be something to be delicate with.
I do wonder, though, and I don't know if we talked about this last week or if we did it on the show on the Sports Hub, but, you know, Bill's contract, nobody knows for sure what the years, what the terms. And it's probably, Paul, I think it was you who brought it up. It's like, well, what if during the, you know, the run, especially there toward the end, in order to keep him happy, they just kept extending him. You know, in 17, he had 3 more years. They tacked on another. And then in 18, it's like, you know what? We're going to give you 2 more on top of that.
I find it awfully hard to believe that he's ever been a lame duck coach. Could you guys?
No. So what if he's got 2-3 more years after this one already on the books at, let's call it a soft $20 million each?
Right.
Well, you're not going to fire that guy. Write him a $60 million check.
You could fire him, and then at least if he wants to keep coaching, you could get that offset situation going. But
what if he doesn't want to keep coaching?
But if he doesn't want to keep coaching,
no, go ahead, fire me. Write me a check for $60 million.
So that
you can fire me.
This is why, like, I think it's going to be a great offseason, you know, for a lot of reasons. And, you know, we don't want to be here, obviously, talking about the potential for 5 and 6 win teams. But in the short term, it's fascinating. Like, what do you do to fix it? I mean, our show as Hardy have never been more lively than they've been like the last week or two. We've had really good interaction with our listeners and our fans, and there's some anger, but it's mostly like, okay, we know what happened. What are we going to do to fix this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, what's the right path for us to go on? I think those kinds of shows I think are excellent.
Well, because it's real conversation and it's not knee-jerk, you know, blind faith following. People are actually thinking about these things.
Like, we haven't gotten anybody who called in and said, I can't believe you people are even discussing the possibility of moving away from Bill Belichick. And we haven't gotten a single call like that.
And conversely, there's not a lot of fire him right now and put in anybody and do this. No, there's like actual nuanced conversation going on about it right now. And I agree with you, Paul. It's been really good. This is from Tony in Canada. Thanks for all you do to provide this show to us Patriots fans. I've heard a lot of talk about firing Bill Belichick and replacing him with a new GM and head coach, but something I did hear was the impact Belichick's guaranteed contract would have on Robert Kraft moving on from Bill. We just talked about this.
It's like
I
Hardy
apologize,
read the email
Tony.
beforehand.
I did not. But look at this. It's what we just talked about. Yes, I think Bill has at least a few years left. I have no idea. Nobody has that.
I wish I had the answer to that question.
I don't think anybody knows. And what he's actually making, the reports are between 20 and 25. So, Tony, we just discussed this. I'm sorry I didn't see this beforehand. But, yeah, I mean, that's real money. That's actual money that you're talking about.
Absolutely.
And who would want to write a check for $50 million that they weren't expecting to write?
Not me. Just real quick, offensive line, it looks like City So is in at right guard for Michael Onwenu, at least as far as the warm-ups go. But Onwenu left last game with an ankle issue and continues to fight that. So something to keep an eye on. Might have 2 rookies at guard.
Okay.
Mafi at left.
I forgot about Mafi for a second. Could you see my face? Who's playing left guard?
Steve in the UK. Hi, guys. Love the show. Listening in the UK or Old England, if you will.
Oh, okay.
New England, Old England.
That's it. Get Bijan Robinson involved. Good job, Atlanta. Let's go.
How long would you wait to see what Greer can do? Have a great show, Steve in the UK.
I mean, by the way they put Cunningham in there, he talked this week about Greer and that he's taken a little while.
I mean, he's only been here like 3 weeks.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's a very high bar for him to pass Bailey Zappi right now because they don't really have any interest in him.
It's funny you mentioned 3 weeks. I've talked about this a lot. I'll mention it here again. If Mac does get pulled today, and I don't know, let's say it is
Deron Payne.
for whatever reason, Malik Cunningham is the new quarterback of the Patriots. Zoe's been on record as saying this for a while, and he's dead set on it, cemented in. You can't make a real judgment call after this game or the next game or the next game. You got to give him 3 weeks. 3 weeks in the system, learning, taking the majority of the reps at practice, and after 3 weeks, you can make a judgment call on whoever you bring in to replace your quarterback.
I mean, how are they already divvying up snaps? I mean, I feel like Mac needs snaps. I feel like Cunningham probably got some snaps this week. It's like there's only so many to go around. There's only so many guys that you can get ready to play. So, I mean, none of us know what's going on in practice and how much of a chance Will Grier is really getting or if he's even on the radar.
And that's why I'm not a big advocate of you got to make the move now, whether it's Bill or whoever, because you got to find out what you have. I don't think this stuff, I mean, it's early still, but let's fast forward a month down the line. If you get toward the end and you're still having these same kinds of conversations, like you don't know who your quarterback is, and you're 2-9, like it's not that big a deal to me. Like, you just got to get someone else, and you might, you get someone experienced. Like I was an advocate in 2020 of Jarrett Stidham. Like I just didn't, because you had Cam Newton there, and you sort of knew that wasn't going to be the future.
Yeah.
So I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to it, but I also don't want to be guilty of reading too much into what happens in these kinds of situations.
It's kind of an interesting part of it, too, is that we have just kind of been through a rebuild. Like we saw a big free agent spending spree in 21. We saw them draft a quarterback. You've kind of seen a dry run already of it. And I think that's when you talk, Hardy, some of the analysis that's going on is that people's kind of weighing, what do we do right? What do we do wrong? What could we do different? Probably just draft the right guys. But
Jake in Australia thinks they need a team barbecue to build morale and rapport among the players. Yeah, maybe a team-building exercise. Laser tag, bowling. They've done that before.
Paintball.
We'll stay away from laser tag.
There you go. Let's grab one more call before the six-pack. We'll go to Jacob in Massachusetts, and then we'll get to our picks for the 3 games here at 4 o'clock, and then all the other ones are actually 4 games. I think we got 4 4 o'clock games. Yeah, okay. It's a full six-pack. Good. Jacob, pardon me. Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
Jacob.
So this is my first time calling in. Been listening to you guys for a while. Really appreciate the analysis you guys have. It's awesome. It's a good way to get the game started.
Thank you.
So I've been hearing a lot of talk about the Bill Belichick getting fired, and I wonder how much of that is just some, I could be totally off base, but it feels a bit like the fan base is operating like a public company. We're only interested in the profits going up. We're not interested in the long term. You have Bill Belichick, who's won us a ton of Super Bowls. I'm wondering if Bill Belichick is now learning how to operate with a team of rookies without a path of winning games. And that's been a learning process for him, working through multiple coaches, multiple quarterbacks. I've only ever watched the Patriots when they're successful, so this is new to me, watching the Patriots when they're not successful. I'm wondering how patient should we be multiple years for someone like Bill Belichick to
It's been 4.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think there's been a lot of patience shown so far.
Yeah.
To be honest.
And I think the notion that, you need to be patient, allow guys to, grow into things. Yeah, for some coaches in some situations, sure. But you can't call Bill a legendary coach who's given so much and built this franchise in one breath, and then in the next breath say, hey, you got to give him a chance to learn how to do this job.
Well, and it's also not a team of rookies.
Yeah.
Right. He's, every coach in it, every one of these positions, every player, regardless of rookie status, veteran status, Bill's done this before. Bill has had at some point this exact same scenario, I would wager, with every position and every staff member on this team at some point in his career. Dare I say, none of this is new for him, with the exception of being beat 72-3 over the last 2 games.
Right.
That part is new. But the rest of it, I don't think there's a lot of newness. I don't think there's a lot you can throw at Belichick that he hasn't seen before.
No, I just wonder if it's the newness of not having an answer, and it's just whatever buttons he's been pushing the last couple of years, it hasn't been working, and I mean, I think we've been patient, but you look at 2020, I think everybody was like, the COVID year, Cam Newton, chuckle. Let's just burn this year. 2021 felt like a bounce back, but the last, 2022 felt like similar to 2020. It felt like we kind of burned a year trying to do some stuff on offense. We all hoped that you would hire Bill O'Brien and we put that stuff in the past and you'd be back on the 2021 train. But this feels like right through with 2022. It feels like the same team, same kind of offense. Everything is just kind of carried over.
What's on the bottom of your shirt? Is that some kind of a design on the bottom of the shirt too?
Yeah, we don't like it really.
But
it was free.
I won't wear that one.
We? Do you mean the collective, the royal we?
Yes.
You and your wife? How is that?
Just got the.
We got them.
Your sweetheart?
My sweetheart.
Yeah, Mike and I got them. Team issue. I
thought I would be sitting down for this, so I wouldn't have to worry
I don't
about
wear that one.
horizontal stripes are not.
Look at me. I'm in the same old clothes here. He's got a new car. He's got this. What am I doing? I got to talk to Jimmy. All right, let's go. Sunday six-pack.
This is the Sunday six-pack, so kick back and listen to my position. I'm itching to get the picks back. You better bring a big stack. Get it mixed, Jack. I came to win it, yeah, this is the Sunday six-pack.
All right, let's get through what happened last week, whatever.
All right, Mike and Paul 4-2, Hardy 2-4.
So you tried to hose me here, Morel. What's going on?
I'm learning still. Season
like
totals. Mike 17-7-2, Paul and Hardy 12-12-2.
Oh, guys.
What? We're 500. We're fine. We're fine overall.
Whatever.
You're doing well, but Paul and I are fine.
Whatever. It's fine.
Whatever.
All right, 4 p.m. games. The 4-1 Detroit Lions at the 3-1 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Detroit -3.
Lions. Oh, sorry.
Lions.
Yeah.
Restore the roar. The roar has been restored, and they're going to continue to roar some more. Detroit.
Yeah, I'm with Mike and Hardy. I'm going to take Detroit as well.
Ride the pride.
The 1-4 Arizona Cardinals at the 2-3 Los Angeles Rams. The LAR -7.
I like the LAR in this game. Mike, I know you always get mad at me when I don't divulge.
Yeah, somebody owns somebody.
Yes, the Rams own the
the
Cards, so I will take the Rams.
I haven't seen enough from the Rams lately to lay a touchdown. I think they win, but I think they could win by 4. Yeah, I'll take the Cardinals. God, 1-4, they're terrible.
Yeah, I'll take the Rams.
You guys are idiots.
Sorry.
Jerk.
The 5-0 Philadelphia Eagles at the 2-3 New York Jets. Philly -7.
I'm not buying in on this whole switcheroo turnaround yet for the Jets and Wilson. I took this earlier in the week. I'm laying the touchdown with the Eagles.
Yeah, me too. I think Sauce is out today too, right? No bueno. Take the
Yeah, I took the Jets during the week, but I was not aware of the amount of Jets that weren't playing in the game. So because of those injuries,
no, you already took them.
No, well, not in this show. I haven't, so I get to cheat.
Unbelievable.
I am taking the Eagles, but I am a believer in the Jets turnaround. I think that they just have a whole different look about them than they did when the Patriots saw them in Week 3, and I don't think their season's over despite their sort of middling record.
Sunday Night Football, the 1-4 New York Giants at the 3-2 Buffalo Bills. Buffalo -14.5.
Oh, it's a big number, Deuce.
It is. I'm going to take the Giants though. It's the Brian Dable effect. I think Buffalo might be a little bit, I don't know, nonplussed by the Giants, and I think they might have it. They're going to win, but not by 14.5.
Yeah. Go ahead, Paul.
I'm going to take Buffalo. I think that they're one of those front-running teams that when they lose a game, they bounce back with a couple of blowouts, and this is one of them. No Daniel Jones. Saquon Barkley is questionable. I don't know. I'm going to take Buffalo.
I can't lay 14.5. I can't do it.
Then don't.
I
Take
can't
the
do
points.
it. I'm taking the Giants. I don't like it, but I'm doing it.
It's probably wise. It's a big spread for the NFL.
Monday Night Football, the 3-2 Dallas Cowboys at the 2-2 Los Angeles Chargers. Dallas -2.5.
What do you think there, Paulie Paul?
I'm taking the lack outright. I think Justin Herbert comes up with a big primetime win on Monday night.
Monday night in L.A. I like that. I'm gonna ride that with you, Paul.
Yeah, I'm riding it too. The lack.
Yeah. Now the only thing working against us there, Hardy, is that it'll probably be a pro Dallas crowd.
Yeah.
Monday night game in L.A.
Ah,
It'll
so
probably be
what?
all Dallas fans,
Who
but
cares?
still taking the lack.
Crowd. Don't
Black's
be a child.
They're used to it.
Don't be an infant.
The Browns maintaining a lead in the fourth quarter against the Niners.
And finally, the 1-4 New England Patriots at the 2-3 Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders -2.5.
Hate to do it. I'm taking the Raiders in this game. Final score 18-12.
Very close.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Las Vegas Raiders as well.
It says Vias. On our sheet, it says Vias.
It also says L-A-V.
Vegas. Las Vegas.
L-A-V. The Lav.
Las Vegas. I'm going to take the Lav. They're going to flush. I'm going to say a score of 24-10.
So I do think this is a winnable game. I'm with everybody else that's pro-Patriot in that this is a winnable game. I don't think the Raiders are very good. I think they have some talented players, but not enough of them. But I just can't. I can't pick the Patriots until I see something change.
Yep.
So, based on the way they've played, I did watch Vegas play a little bit Monday night. I thought they looked like they were pretty close, and I think that they'll continue to make some strides. I have Vegas winning this game 19-13, very close to Hardy's score.
Wow. All right, there we go. That is your Sunday six-pack. We're going to be here right after the game for the Patriots Postgame Show. We're hoping that you will listen and join us then. Same number, same email, 855-PATS-500, webradio@patriots.com to call and email the Patriots Postgame Show right after the game from Las Vegas. We'll talk to you then. Thanks for listening and watching.
Thank you for downloading this podcast. Subscribe on Apple, Google Play, and everywhere else you listen. Like the show? Please rate and review us. Listener comments and ratings help keep us high in the podcast rankings so new listeners can find us. Be sure to check patriots.com for more news and more podcasts.